Tuesday, live from Hudson Yards. We're in VaynerMedia's office. We couldn't be more psyched that you're here. I wasn't here for the start of Christmas or Mother's Day or Father's Day, but you are here for the start of a national holiday. And I want to welcome my co-host, GaryVee, and the most beautiful woman I've ever met.
Oh, it's very nice of you.
Kass Lazaro, welcome.
Am I the co-host and she's the beautiful woman, or am I the beautiful woman and she's the co-host?
I wasn't going to say that you're a beautiful woman.
I'm really happy to be here. Wait, are you actually trying to make this an official national holiday? Is like there's probably like a way to do that.
Oh, we're doing this
Kass.
every year.
I think that if we could do it, it would be great because it's all about shoveling shit. It's all about being an entrepreneur and shoveling shit. Why
I
not?
love that. I love that. I love it. Are you changing some stuff up here? No worries. Not gonna work. That's fine. We don't need. We'll just get me and Kass. We don't need Mike. We know how to sell books here. If we show Mike, they might refund books. Everybody on my socials, how are you? Go to GaryVee.com/join. I think Dustin will have that up shortly. It's an honor to be here to kick off this ridiculous show. It's going to be amazing. Well, of course. I'm happy to. This is incredibly apropos for me to be hosting you in a conference room.
I know, so let's talk about it. Let's go
Please,
right there.
please tell everybody.
So, what year was it? What
Well,
did
it was
say?
a long time ago. We were all very young, 2009.
2009.
Yep.
And you go and talk to Mike. You knock on our door. You come up.
Actually, Mike came to the Wine Library.
Was
I
it
think is
true?
our first conversation.
Yep, I went there first.
Yep.
He
And
knocked on our
did
door
he didn't-
virtually.
But he didn't ask you then, did you? Did he?
No. I think
He was
met.
still jabbing. He wasn't doing the upper.
Yeah, I was jabbing. I didn't go in for the right hook yet. We'd met. It was when I met Mike. It was one of these. Actually, let me start from the top because there's so many people joining from my world. Everybody, here's what I'm doing. I am here promoting a book and it's not mine. This is unprecedented. This is the first time this has happened in my career. There is a book coming out, and you know I'm gonna love this title, Shoveling Shit, right? And it is an absolute love story to entrepreneurship. These two are some of the best entrepreneurs I've ever met in my life. And I met them a long time ago. We're about to go into that story, but you can see on the screen, Kass and Mike, at Kass and Mike. If you're watching me on my social, please come over right now to GaryVee.com/join. That will send you to the official National Shovel Day live stream on YouTube right now. I want you all up in here. I can't see the chat from that, right? Are they doing that?
That's their chat.
That's their chat. But
yeah.
can we see that on that screen? We don't have that. Can you take control of that and get us to their chat? Because I want to see some of the feedback. They're going to want to see it too. I see comments. There we go. You'll get that over in a second. I know Dustin's like reverse. You're almost there. Top right. Up, boom. Click that. And we are now in the game. Look at that. See?
Nice.
Now you can say hi to Michelle and Miles.
There we go.
Oh my God, Miles, man.
Miles. The Offspring, Sammy Went is here. David, look at all these people saying Gary sent me. Look at
Gary
this.
sent me. I love
Look
it.
at this.
appreciate
Look at
it.
this.
I love it.
I said the text. Everybody, if you just came from the text to this URL, put Gary sent me on YouTube right now. We're about to tell an incredible story, and most of all, I have good news for all of you. All of you are about to buy a book, and really, you're going to buy 3 because you're going to buy 1 for you, and you're probably going to buy 2 for like the entrepreneurs. And if you're really smart, the Lazes here have followed the Gary 2007-8 Crush It blueprint, the bundle that became a standard in the book world. I'm excited about this. We got bundles, we got books, we got the founder of Liquid Death who used to work at Vayner. This is all essential. There's a lot going on.
A lot going on. Like,
lot.
we've got 3 hours. We got to take it easy. We can't get overheated
I
right away.
have 30 up front, and then I'm coming back multiple times. So stand put. Yes, I'm wearing the Gratitude Gorilla 555 t-shirt. That'll be dropped soon on Whatnot. I'm going to be excitable. You guys have to pace
Okay.
yourself, but I don't know if you know this. I can do this for 8 hours
I know.
straight.
Some
I
people
know
won't.
you
that.
can. I know you can.
Why don't we start at the top? Before we go into our story, I want to start with Shoveling Shit, why you wrote it, but weave that into first your actual careers, because a lot of Gary fans are coming in first, and I want them to understand. I don't know if I've ever written the forward to a book. I think I might have bullshitted one a few years ago, but like this was real for me. This is real for me. The reason I'm promoting it is if it's one of my own books is because Mike and Kass are family to me. Truly, honestly. And I think a lot of people that know me know I really do get close with people. And like my team will tell you, like it's more human. This is a different level than that. My parents adore these people. Like they were at Misha's bat mitzvah. Like this is real family to me. Real fucking family to me. No bullshit. If I've done anything good in your life, that's brought you value, don't even buy a fucking VFriend. Buy Shoveling Shit. I'm not kidding. And especially if you're like a real entrepreneur, you guys have like these, I want to get into those in a minute, but this really fucking matters to me. They really matter to me. And most of all, I know they wrote a real book because these people built real businesses. They support real businesses. They're some of the smartest people I know. You know, Kass is the brains and the looks, and Mike's just around, and it's fucking perfect.
Some people say I'm barely around. For the record.
First of all, thank you for that intro, Gary. So,
Yeah, I would highly recommend clipping that and just running
Yeah,
that
just- I was
against
gonna
fans
say,
of
like, that might be
GaryVee.
a great
That's how you're going to
ad
get all your
for us.
sales.
Team, we got to make sure we have that. So, yeah, so Mike and I have worked together. Are you ready for this? 28 years. 28 years together, 25 of those married. And there's no one else I'd rather run a company with than Mike.
Real quick, sorry to interrupt. That guy Ching says, damn, Gary, that was low. You don't understand, Mike. I'm a Jersey boy. The more you insult your buddy, it actually means the more you love them. Dustin knew. Like, that's a Jersey boy thing. Like, the more you insult your buddies, the more you actually, this is bro code. I know we talk a lot about, like, you know, girl math, and there's a lot of trends on that. Let me teach you what bro code is. Like, if you really fuck with your buddies, if you really fuck with them, like my best friends in the world, all we do is shit on each other 24/7.
I love it. I love
Vivi's
it.
watching.
I know.
Isn't she supposed? Oh no, they don't have school today.
They
Riverdale
don't
never has
today.
fucking school.
I don't know why they.
The more you pay, the less these kids go to school.
That's
We
right.
lost the screen.
That's right.
Vivi, enjoy today. You don't have school Friday either, Vivi.
I
You just
know.
got out of fucking. They
Viv.
don't fucking go to school.
No, they don't.
All right.
She is Monday and Friday off. Yeah,
I'm
no,
aware.
I don't know
Our
what
kids go to
she's
the same
doing.
school. This is family, everybody. Buy Shoveling Shit. Buy them all. Buy every copy on Amazon right now. All right, Kass,
I love
Mike, go
this.
ahead.
All right, so we started off with golf.com. We did that starting in 1998. I had this idea.
Early internet.
Yeah, that
1.0.
Web 1.0. I had this idea that golfers would like to track their game online.
Now you're saying golfers, not gothers.
No.
Okay, I just wanted to make sure. I heard goth
Golfers.
a little bit.
Like
This
the
golf is
sport.
sport. Like yesterday,
Like the sport.
Rory,
Yes.
career Grand Slam. That, not
Woo!
goth. Like
no,
Okay.
golfers. Golfers, people who play golf, like the crazy avid
Wait, big news.
golfers.
Let's clap it up. Tim Poles pre-ordered.
Okay, that's
SGC
awesome.
Here we
Barbarian.
go.
Bought,
Thank
excited
you.
to read.
Thank
Real
you.
quick, do not buy a copy yet if you're like a real baller because there's packages.
Yeah, there's big packages coming up. Big packages. All right, so, wow. Okay, are we laughing at? Are you
Go
guys-
ahead. We're just broing out a little bit. Go,
Oh my
go,
God,
go.
This is like, by the way, this reminds me of you.
You're the
guys-
biggest pro at this
Listen,
table right now.
listen.
You guys don't know Kass.
Well,
She's the biggest
I
pro
am
at the
going to
table,
literally-
and I'm not fucking joking.
I'd literally box
For all the
him
people
out.
that know Kass, I promise you, she's the biggest pro at the table.
That's
Go
true.
ahead.
I will take on either of these two. All right. So started that company, wanted to help golfers. Then we sold that to Time Warner. And then in 2007, the day our daughter Vivian was born, we actually started Buddy Media. And that's where the story starts with you two. We ran that company for less than 5 years, sold it to Salesforce for $745 million.
Say it slow.
$745 million. And we had
And it wasn't an all-cash deal, if I remember, since I was on the cap
30%
table.
stock,
Yes.
yeah.
And that stock exploded as well.
big time. And you know the
Yeah,
story
incredible.
that we had other offers that were over $1 billion.
I'm aware.
Yes. So that's it. We're the real deal.
Yeah,
We
so
Yes,
we,
you are.
we shoveled a lot of shit.
So started 8 companies, but we've done what all entrepreneurs do. They start investing. We've supported over 100. We've done a lot of deals with Gary. Love the pickleball team, Empathy Wines, V Friends. I just swept the floor. Please sweep the floor of V Friends.
That's amazing.
And we love entrepreneurs. And so we sat down and we said, how do we write our love story, but also our love story to entrepreneurs? And what it's about is all these cheat codes that we have for the last 30 years. And we don't believe in just cheat codes. You got to add hard work and resilience. But these cheat codes of how to focus an organization, how to raise money, how to hire, how
Go
to
to the
fire,
official stream over here.
50 cheat codes we've put in this book. And what today is about, some of our favorite entrepreneurs, including Mike Cesario of Liquid Death, we're going to stack more cheat codes on top.
Yeah.
And
Who
that's
wrote the
what today's
book?
about.
We both did.
No, I know, but who wrote the book,
It was
guys?
not easy.
No, I know,
No,
but like,
seriously. Okay, I'm gonna tell you.
Kass, you go first because I trust you more.
Okay, so
what
here-
percentage of this book is you, and what is
I would
Mike?
say, I'm going to say the absolute truth.
I know you will. That's why do you think I went to you first?
I've collected these cheat codes over the last 30 years. I had them written down in my notes app, okay? These are the same things we say to every entrepreneur every single week, okay? So I would do listen, I'm dyslexic. I did a horrible first draft, okay,
Makes
of
sense.
all the chapters.
Yep.
Gave them the scaffold. I write in bullet points, and then Mike does what he does best, which is write over it.
Yeah, it wasn't an easy process. Let's just say.
Cass, can you answer my question? What
50%.
Really?
Yes, and I think he wrote 50%.
Mike, what do you think?
We're in it together.
That I
Do you
know.
agree?
I know
But
how
it
you
was
guys
hard.
roll.
It was hard
There's no
because-
such thing as true 50-50.
You're right. And
Thank you, Mike.
a lot of the conversations went like this.
I don't know how.
Here's the thing-
Cass, do you wait a minute? Are you political correct on like
No,
live streams?
but,
Like, in,
dude,
like
I don't think I did enough. Like,
so you
here's
think
the-
it's 63 Mike,
I
37
mean,
you?
I don't ever like him winning. So
I
can't-
know that,
I
but
can't say
I'm trying.
anything.
Look, we want to be transparent here. We
Okay,
want people.
The transparent part is I wrote every single outline, bullet point, and I had every story. Mike did not have stories, and I wrote it all down. Okay,
I'm listening.
That's it. Then I would say my shitty paragraphs, and anyone who knows who's dyslexic, you can't do
I can't do
transition,
anything.
Can't do transitions.
My team knows that if you write me an email longer than 3 words, I'm out and call a
Like, I
5-minute
can't-
meeting.
I can't even do it. So Mike then went back in, and then who edited a lot? I edited a lot. So,
Okay.
So
Sounds like you did most.
no.
Mike?
No. He's
Mike, can
Yeah,
you please
so-
give me a straight answer? The people want to know.
So I wrote most of the chapters after she outlined it.
Yep.
I showed her what I wrote, and she would typically say, "I don't like it." I said, "Okay, you
Sounds
don't
like you guys are doing
like,
it.
okay,
That's exactly right, by the way.
Correct.
you don't like it, but I need more than that." Oh, it's just not doing anything for me.
Well, I mean, that
So
should be enough.
I
for
went
him
to journalism school. I like people who are very clear in their editing. So let's just say we fought for the first chapter, and then it got easier. I
Yes,
think
it
that's
did.
the truth.
That is the truth.
We our marriage survived the writing of it, and I think better because when we work together, I do more sales and the
We were in the same
external
lane.
stuff.
This was not easy.
Cass
guys-
runs the company, so
you
we really
guys-
don't work together.
You guys are doing more content,
Yes.
right?
lot of
Everybody,
content.
all my peeps follow Cass at Cass and Mike. How much are people asking you to like talk about like how to make a family business work?
A ton.
Yeah, I mean, it's such a.
it-
I mean, you really. It's a little bit weird because I know you actually. You guys are like once you get this out there, like 745 is a real number. Like people's like Braden's eyes came out of his head. The comment, like you guys have a real exit. You have real investments, liquid like Liquid Death and others. You're really in it, and like this is going to be really fun for me to watch over the next 10 years because you have really something to stand on. Similar how I came out the gate. I talked about business and marketing because I'd done it.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
by the time I was starting to be GaryVee, but I lived it.
Yeah.
And then obviously I've lived it for another 15 years. I think it's really cool. And I would say this, like if you really are thinking about being in a family business and definitely if you're thinking husband-wife team, but it goes deeper than that. Like, cause how they've pulled it off works in every dynamic, even cousins and grandpa, grandson. It's a big factor.
Any co-founder relationship. I
It's-
mean,
Yeah,
even if
you're
you're
right.
not sleeping
You're
with
right.
your co-founder, you wake up and you text them before you go to bed. You're
Oh
texting
yeah.
them.
Every single thing.
And so it's a tough relationship,
Yeah.
right? Co-founder relationships. And so what we wanted to do in the book is just be very honest, not only about the business stuff, but how do you build a life? How do you build a business without losing your soul? Not easy. There's no balance, but some of our cheat codes there around how we did date nights, how we kept our relationship going.
Planting off fam, thank you for buying the book.
And thank you to Matthew Elephant, who bought our first package of the day.
Oh,
he
he
went
did?
big. He
Oh,
went
wait,
with
what
the-
happened? I want to know about. Can we tell them? Like
Yes,
honestly, because I
let's
have to
do it.
leave at some point. And I want to talk about the packages before we even talk about the book, which we will have time for. I want to talk about the packages because I get excited about this part.
Okay.
What are the packages?
All right.
Gang. If you're an OG,
I'm gonna go
fan
through
of
the
me, you know I love a good book package. We got book packages. How many different ones do we have?
We have 5.
Okay.
We have 5 packages. I'm going to start at the top, the best one. Is that okay?
No, I like the build up.
Okay, the buildup. Okay, fine. So you buy one book, which some of you have. Thank you so much. You get about $350 worth of free shit. This is Founders Farm membership, right? This is the advanced chapters. We have an interview. Seth Meyers.
People need to go to shovelingshit.com/shovel.
That's right.
And that's where they can see the packages.
Yes.
So everyone's on. Okay,
Yep.
what did you say about Seth Meyers?
So Seth Meyers did an interview of us. That's live. You can get that if you
But
buy
I think
just
the most
one book.
the
But
most important thing for the one book, let me
I like
just
that.
say,
You want to interrupt me?
yes, I just did.
Because you're not interrupting. We're jamming. We're
Yeah.
jamming.
Okay.
So
Because
we've
if
been-
we're going to keep track of interrupting, I'm in deep shit.
No.
Let's
we-
call it
you,
jamming.
You can.
Let's
Go
call
ahead.
it jamming.
Entrepreneur kit.
So we threw everything that we use to launch businesses, so the budgets, how we focus companies, how we do strategic planning, into the Entrepreneur Toolkit. You get that with one purchase. So if you're launching a business, this is everything that we use to launch our businesses. That's a no-brainer. So with that, I'll turn it back to Kass.
Okay, so then we go to the Dig In package, which is awesome. So you buy 20 books, right? You get everything we just talked about.
Plus.
But then you get our field guide, which is like on-the-ground cheat codes. You get a master class. We put together a master class that's everything if you want to see visually how we did everything. But here's the big stuff that I love. You get 1 hour, you get 4 weeks of 1 hour office hours.
Get the fuck out of here.
Yeah, you get in, you come in. It's a great thing. It's like literally
Per person?
founders.
Oh, there's only
therapy.
20 of them. No wonder.
Yeah, so it's like
That's cheap.
founders therapy. Okay,
Yep.
you come in. It's been great. We've actually had Crystal in. We've had Seth in a lot. These are two of our big founding members.
KK Alexandra, if you go to shovelingshit.com/shovel, the details of everything Kass is breaking down quickly right now are there for you.
And then you also get a 30-minute private Zoom with us, which is key because we've actually helped people either secure funding or think through business models, pivot their business model. So it's big.
Real quick, I need to interrupt. Michael D said Gary has no attention span. Incorrect, Michael. I'm actually just trying to make this entertaining and bring as much value in a short period of time as
You
possible.
actually have incredible attention span. Thank you. Okay, you do.
Right? You guys know this. I actually am epic with it. It's just that I'm willing to interrupt and fuck everybody's flow up if it's not efficient.
Look at Ryan Holtz here. We just were on Ryan's podcast, and he said he gave great advice to his 8-year-old. And you're right, buddy. Thank
We
you.
love kids. We love giving advice to kids. Buy the packages. Let us meet with your kids. Put them on the right path.
Okay,
Laz is like slinging like babysitting here. Laz wants to sell books so much he's willing to babysit.
I want
Now's the
someone to
time.
send us a picture of someone holding the book. That would be great. All right,
love
so
it.
the next package is called the New York Stock Exchange package. So buy 40 books, you get everything we talked about.
Hold on. I really do apologize. I got a little bit weirded out on Dig In package. I looked at it wrong. I thought the last package cost $4,000.
No, that's the value you get.
One more time for
Okay.
$600.
For
with
$600
access to you. One more time, how much?
Yes, you
4.5 hours access.
You guys are fucking idiots. I have nothing else to say. I'm out. That's fucking stupid. 4.5 hours for $600?
4 hours are
What do you make,
group
20 bucks
office
an hour?
hours.
Group
4
office
hours are
hours.
group office hours.
Group office hours. He's leaving. He's leaving.
Cass, why didn't I review the packages?
Well, I mean, I will say that you might have been shown them.
So they're cheap. They should buy them. They should buy them.
I didn't review them because I didn't prioritize. I apologize. All right, keep going.
Okay, so let's go to the New
That
York
is
Stock
cheap,
Exchange.
guys.
Okay?
My
is
audience
cheap.
knows I'm not here for show.
We're
That's
building.
cheap.
We're
You guys
treating
really
this.
want to sell books.
We're treating this like we're
You know what's
building
really
the foundation.
cheap? The 300 book package.
Yes.
Yes, that's the big one. Okay,
That's
so,
where I gave you my most love. Not
okay,
the office,
look.
not the cosign.
So the New York Stock Exchange package. Come on June 2nd to the New York Stock Exchange. If you buy this package, 40 bucks, okay? You get a ticket to this incredible launch of our
up my
book.
future packages because
Okay.
people are gonna be like, wait, I don't know, this package is 40 bucks. Mine would be like 900.
But
for
look
the
at your
same thing.
2007 one, right?
Yeah.
We're
Yeah, it's
starting.
fair.
We're
Yeah,
starting
fair.
at the
You
bottom.
gotta
Yeah, but my 2009 one was like I worked at my dad's liquor store. You guys sold a $700 million business and made an unbelievable amount of fucking proper investments.
Listen,
like you also
gotta
sold.
gotta deliver value.
I love it. Go ahead.
All right, so this one, the New York Stock Exchange ticket one, this is like $8,000 worth of value. Okay, so this big, everything from before and a ticket to the big launch
Every
party.
large New York City entrepreneur
Yeah,
is
I'm
invited
going.
to this.
Yeah, I'm going. That's
Okay.
gonna be huge.
It is the room to be in on the Monday of New York Tech Week at the New York Stock Exchange. They're hosting
Oh, I can't guarantee
us.
that I'm gonna be there. By the way, I forgot. There's a top
And
score
they,
thing. But I may be there.
Yeah, so
Okay.
that's that.
All right, so the next package.
150 books.
Okay, 150 bucks. You get a Kass and Mike lunch. So everything from before, you get to go to the
How
core
long's the
club.
lunch?
Okay.
10 hours.
No, it's not 10 hours. We're just trying to fuck with you. It's not 10 hours.
Is that okay, Gary?
long's
10
the lunch?
hours?
An hour and a half.
3
Hour,
hours,
an hour and a
whatever.
half.
We got nothing going on.
I don't eat lunch, so I don't know.
Yeah, you're not invited to that one.
You know this, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Really? I thought for sure this is
Team.
protein.
Team. Thank you.
Yeah,
Never
that's a-
seen it.
Wait, breakfast?
No.
It's interesting. What are you running
He
on?
has 3 dinners.
Gratitude, motherfucker.
Gratitude.
Gratitude Gorilla shirts dropping 555 soon.
Right there.
All right.
All right. So now we're going to get to the biggest.
Chef Lizette is in the
Biggest
house for
package.
the record.
Okay,
we
ready?
Love Chef Lizette.
Okay. Biggest package.
Here we go.
300 books, over $9,000 of value.
What a bullshit number.
Okay.
What do you mean $9,000 value?
Mike, you came up with the numbers.
What is it?
It is priceless.
Thank you, Mike.
So 9,000 is cheap. This
Guys,
doesn't.
dinners with me is not $9,000.
It is
What are you
here.
talking
here.
about?
It is
This
here.
is bullshit.
here.
The last charity one went for $112,000.
But
What do you
you
mean
bought it back.
$9,000?
You bought it back. Do you remember the one that we went to?
Oh yeah, there was that. I bought it back because I
For
didn't want.
$100,000.
I bought it for because I didn't want to do the dinner.
So
right,
this
that
is
was
a
a
dinner
charity event we went
with
to.
a dinner with 3 of us.
There's only one of these, right?
There's one
8
dinner.
people
All right,
coming.
somebody should get smart right now. Let me just save time.
Buy
This
all
one
of
should
them.
sell right now. If you buy 300
You
books
have 8 seats at the table with us. So is a table.
at Flyfish Club,
Yep, at your club.
I know a lot of you have been trying to like get in. If you buy 300 books, which I guess is like it'll be on shoveling shit.
Yes,
Yeah,
What
shoveling.
if what if multiple? Wait a minute. I have a feeling there might be a race going on
There are
right
only
now.
8 of them.
If there's 8, we're watching.
We're turning it off.
What do you mean
Once
there's
eight,
8 of them?
Once
There's only
8, there are 8 seats at the
One
table.
dinner
Oh,
with 8
I'm
seats.
sorry. It's you. Everybody can get one. Got it. Okay, that'll be
Right, so
okay
it's
then. I thought
8
one person could bring 7. No,
Nope.
no. There's 8 packages.
8.
Oh, so I'm gonna hang out with 8 of these characters?
Yes, at once.
I'm kidding.
With
I'm
us.
kidding, everyone. I'm kidding. I can't wait. Actually, that's fun.
Well, some of them
All
will be
right.
from our community, so they'll be.
That's
know,
fair.
yeah.
All right, good. So that one is the 300 book package.
Yep.
You get all the stuff. The New York City. You get the Zoom. You get the lunch with you guys,
Yep.
and you get the dinner with me.
Yeah, not the Zoom. There's
Not the Zoom.
with that. Not the
You
lunch.
get everything.
That's-
You
that's-
get
Zooms,
either the dinner
but
or
not
the
the
lunch.
What do you
lunch.
mean? You put X's there.
No, Mike did that.
Yep. I did that. Sorry.
Mike did that. Well, now we're giving it away.
Yeah, we're.
People want to know if
listen.
they can buy shovels.
Can they buy shovels?
Oh man, we got.
we can send out
Buy
shovels.
books and we'll give you
Yeah.
whatever you want.
Seriously, bought a package.
KG
Thank
Wink,
you.
I'm just
Who's
having
that?
fun. I'm not trying to interrupt. I'm leaving. They're going to be here for
So-
3 hours. I apologize.
So let me,
But you're right. It is a weakness.
Before Gary leaves
Yes.
for the first time, he's gonna be in and out this
Yes.
whole time. But like we can't
I-
talk to
there's
other
something I
entrepreneurs
wanna
with him
ask.
here, so we've asked him to leave. What is
Leaving money on the tables.
What is your most important cheat code that you picked up since you moved into our conference room and were starting on your own that you want to give to everyone?
As an entrepreneurial cheat code?
Yes.
You know, it's funny. Like, it's really, really interesting. This is like a wild thing to say, but I'd been running the family business for 12 years before the day I walked into your guys' conference room. I don't know if it's, you're always learning new things.
Yeah.
I mean, only 5 years ago, I realized that candor was my kryptonite.
Yeah.
Like, who would think? Because
Amazing,
Gary
yeah.
Vee on stage, candor, advice to you,
Yeah.
like what you guys like, advice to friends, candor. So I think you're always learning something. What would I say is my favorite thing I've learned? I mean, that's my favorite because it was my own learning. I think a lot of things I believed the day I walked into your conference room have become more. Here's a good one. Let me tell you what I walked into your conference room believing. Then the era that we all grew up in, the explosion of Web 2.0 and all the money that was made and all the fundraising
Yep.
that I lost and then I got back.
Right.
I came into your office in 2009 believing in hard work, tenacity, kindness, practicality. Don't borrow money, make money.
That's a big one.
That one I definitely lost in 2010, 11, 12. Kind of. Because in 09, I could have started a fund. There was a lot going on with me, and I decided to build an agency. Mike knows this. Mike's got the
Yeah.
best Vayner story of all time. I always say that in the first 2 years of Vayner, I didn't really want to do Vayner. It was kind of like AJ was running it. Mike is the only human that knows this story. Now I'm going to share it. A couple years in, me and Mike are crossing the street in New York. I'm like, Mike, you should buy Vayner in Buddy Media. Because like the agency thing was tough. And
Yeah.
it's not why I was doing it. I was doing it to learn Fortune 500.
Yeah.
So couple things. I would say the biggest thing I've learned is
For not a lot of money, if you
no,
remember.
yeah, nothing. A couple $1 million,
Yeah,
$1 million.
couple
I wanted
$1
to. I
million
was
bucks.
willing to get out. Couple things. One, I think, and I love that the book's called Shoveling Shit. I think one of the things that I've learned, it's reinforced, is back to basics.
Yeah.
You know, like just like fucking run a P&L, make good decisions. Like you know how much I care about culture.
Yes,
We're
big
aligned
time.
on that. Culture's huge. It's all people. It's
Kindness.
nothing else. All people. I got another one. Too many people put process on a pedestal, not the outcome.
Yep.
I have a very tough relationship with project management because I love them and we need them and there's value in it. But too many project managers that have worked for me and I've watched in companies I'm on the board of or involved, they care about the process. Like everyone's got to bring a pencil to the meeting. Who gives a fuck?
Yeah.
Like, so I think another thing that I've really, really am passionate about is focus on what fucking matters. 99% of shit doesn't matter. Like focus on the actual things that matter, which is people, which is culture, which is vision,
But
which is
also,
value.
I think what you did to start Vayner was all about focusing on the right stuff in the beginning. There was just two things that you did. Remember, you were focusing on bringing in revenue because that's how you had to get out of our office.
Yep.
And hiring the people to service the clients.
That's
that was it.
That's it.
And it was simple. Like you knew what you had to do.
In a lot of ways, 2,500 people later, hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of millions of dollars of revenue later, I feel like last year I spent a lot of time, I would say last year, and not only was I not the chairman of VaynerX, I would say it was the COO of VaynerMedia last year.
Yeah.
Now I'm getting fully out of it. Like I'm going back to GaryVee and VFriends is like eating up every energy I have. But like, I also think that's something I've learned, which is there's different seasons in the journey.
Yeah. That's a good
As
way
an
to say it.
entrepreneur, sometimes you're the babysitter and sometimes you're the chairman.
Therapist.
Sometimes you're
Well,
the boss and sometimes you're the junior employee.
Yeah.
And I think when you're in that mindset, you'll service yourself well because as soon as you become living in your ivory tower in your fancy office and you've lost the dirt, this is why I love your book so much. Once you're out of the dirt, you're dead.
Well, I will say we've worked with hundreds of entrepreneurs and we know Gary very well. And you are the best entrepreneur we know
Yeah.
because you don't rely on fundraising. We're not good enough to go out and just do it. We've raised $100 million at Buddy Media. You focus on building the business first, and then if you need financing to make a move, it's there. And not having that safety net of financing has been incredible to watch. And to see you build this business without giving away the equity, doing it your way with empathy, compassion,
Yes.
promoting from within. I look around this room, and Dustin's been here for 7 years.
Yeah.
I've seen him go from, not knowing a lot to he got all this set up, right? And so you mentor people, you hire well, you promote from within, you fire fast. And I can't think of another entrepreneur that we've
Marcus
witnessed.
runs international. Marcus lives in London
Yeah.
and runs Vayner International.
Marcus was
it just-
9 when you hired him.
He was in the conference room. He was in the conference room, sneaking out to your
Yeah.
kitchen, stealing a root beer, and running back in like a fucking hedgehog.
Yeah. No.
And to do what Gary has done without raising money, you see what he does on social, but there is no more genuine person. You can't do this by accident.
Thank you, brother.
And so it's just proud for us coming back here.
My pride for you guys supporting this book is one of the great joys. I am desperate for this book to get to as many people as possible. I can't wait to have dinner with people. I'm going to be back soon. And you got a whole show. That's why I was yapping
Can
so
you
much.
please
everyone.
leave so we can talk to other people?
Yeah, exactly. Or talk even at all.
But yes,
Love you, everybody.
Gary
I'll
will
be right
be
back.
in and out, but we're not going to be able to talk to people if he's here the whole time.
All right. Well, so one thing before we get our next guest on, we had a party pack that someone just bought. Okay. So this is.
You knew this would happen, but this is all good for you guys.
And here he is again.
I'm
gotta-
leaving. You need to continue watching this at GaryVee.com/join. Everybody go over there now. Love you.
Okay. So do we know, Claire? Do we know who bought the party pack?
Yes.
We're gonna find. When to say?
Melissa Chang.
Chang. Thank you so
Thank
much.
you, Melissa.
This is huge. So she's going to come to the party on
We
June
are
2nd.
partying. Get your
Yes.
dance shoes on.
Get ready. I don't know if are we really dancing?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so apparently we're dancing.
I'm
So
dancing.
You're dancing.
I
Okay,
guess
so
I'm dancing
you're-
with Michelle.
You're
not dancing.
You're dancing. Okay, I love it. All right, so now we'd like
I
to
allowed to
get.
dance with Michelle?
Yes, you can dance with Michelle. Now
Okay.
we're
Do
going to
we get
bring
that
in
on tape?
Erica, and I'd like to bring her in. So if we can do that.
We got to put our earphones on so
Yep.
we could hear everyone.
Yeah, this is awesome. I don't know, Erica, do you want to pull up that? And Dustin, do you want to change the screen for us and bring her in if Mike can do that?
There
yes.
she is.
Hi.
Hi, Erica.
How are you?
Good. Welcome to National Shovel Day. We're psyched you're here.
You're the first guest in the history of National Shovel Day. So I don't even know who the first guest on like Christmas was.
Okay, so this is Mike's big thing now. Wait, before we go on, I want to introduce you. Okay, I'm going to ask you to also do it, but I'd like to tell you that you are the co-founder and CEO of Healthy. Okay, Healthy provides EHR, scheduling, engagement, and other software to thousands of healthcare organizations, from private practices to multi-billion-dollar companies, helping them deliver care to millions of patients. I know you've got a background in consulting as well. Welcome to our live. We couldn't be more happy that you're our first guest, and we couldn't be more proud of you and what you and Kevin have done. So thank you for coming on.
Thank you so much. And I am so proud to be supporting you all here today, and been so lucky to have you all in our camp and community over the years.
Well, you know, I always say, especially when I run into like really amazing founders, that you are the real deal. So everyone should check out Erica Jain and go to Get Healthy, because this is a phenomenal product. I don't say that often. I use it actually every day for one of our businesses. I'm actually hoping to roll a second business on it. So we're going to start with the first question we want you to answer, because there's a lot of people who are on thanks to Gary. And we're talking about cheat codes, right? We wrote this book. You see it right in front of us. We sent you an early copy. And I think people want to know what your cheat codes are. So what is like the most important code you've learned as an entrepreneur?
Absolutely. I'll wind it back to say we've been building Healthy for 9 years. And we have been building business critical, healthcare critical software, which is an EHR platform that's used by thousands of clinicians and millions of patient lives. The reason why I said that is our inherent cheat code is that, you know, I'm talking to two of my investors right now, but we never want to be relying on venture capital to raise our business. And we have been profitable as a company for more than half of our time. And it is so crucial to how we think, how we act, how we spend money, how we obsess over our customers and making sure that they are delighted with the experience that we provide. So that's something that is just so core to our DNA at Healthy. It's also helped us because I can look any CEO in the eye and say, I'm not relying on venture capital to keep the lights on, which is so important for healthcare and so important for what we do.
I love that. And I will say that seeing the numbers, seeing what you literally give us every month, it's just incredible what you're doing. And I don't know, like you and Kevin have your heads down. It's focus. You also treat people very well. And I've had the pleasure of working with like 3 or 4 of the people in your office who've helped me through like onboarding, which is not a fun process for any software. But I have to say, like, the kindness that comes from the people that work for you as a team in Healthy, it's just incredible. You know, we are here with Gary for the first 30 minutes. He talked about empathy and kindness, but I really feel it from you and Kevin. And I think people undervalue that as a leader. What else would you say? Like, how do you lead, and what is your cheat code for leading? Because I love this about you.
One of the things that I am most proud of 9 years into the company is the fact that we have team members at our company who have been here for, someone's coming on 8 years, 7 years, 7 years, 6 years.
Can you believe that?
And it's absolutely so special to be able to celebrate each of those milestones with our team members, while also seeing how they're growing in their careers. We have team members who started off as junior associates who are now running some of the largest departments at our company.
I love that.
It has everything to do with giving people the opportunity to really, really succeed in their own roles and bring out the best in themselves.
I love that. I'm looking at one of the comments that just came up that's from Eric Steele. It says, get your customer to fund your business. That is a great cheat code. You see, that's what you do. That's what you do at Healthy. That's amazing.
You know, first time I met Erica, I said she's the smartest person in the room.
That's correct.
Incredible background. But as we spoke, I realized that she had not only brilliance, but also this practical, get it done attitude.
Yeah.
And so it's that combination of strategy plus let's just do it in a very difficult space, right? We're talking about electronic health records and scheduling software
HIPAA compliance.
Yeah,
Let's not
and
forget this whole part.
And if her software goes down, there are thousands of doctors' offices who lose their calendar. So she has incredible software that doesn't go down. And so, we're seeing the witness of, I think, maybe our next billionaire founder.
That's what I think.
She's on the path to do what she was put here to do. And I don't know if you feel like you have purpose through your company, Erica, but we see you in the synchronicity of doing the right thing at the right time, growing the business you should be growing.
That's very sweet of you. I actually view it as a responsibility. And I am so motivated by our customers. Our customers are the ones that are providing amazing behavioral access to healthcare, access to women's health, access to nutritional care, access to physical therapy. And that's so motivating.
I love that.
To see our customers really shine and succeed and us to play a small role in that. So thank you so much.
Did you always know you wanted to be an entrepreneur?
No. And I would say that I'm curious to get your experience. I think that I actually don't even like the word entrepreneur. It's not like how I think about myself. I view it as like, let's just solve a problem and be obsessive about it because the magnitude of healthcare and solving healthcare is so big and important and interesting. So I really just focus on taking care of our customers and continue to serve them. And like, I actually very intentionally, I don't spend a lot of time in like startup circles and tech circles and things like that. Because I really just focus on solving a big problem for healthcare.
I love that. And I also knew that about you too, is like you are heads down. You and Kevin literally put your heads down and do the work, which I love. All right, I have one last question. And that is, and I've had this thrown at me a lot. So you're going to relate to this. Everyone's like, oh, how do you balance? How do you balance? I have my own theory on it, but I'd love to know your theory as a mom who is an entrepreneur and the CEO of a company.
It's a good question. I would hire a mom every single time.
There we go.
Is my like basic TLDR of this because
Yes.
I think moms get stuff done.
Exactly.
And moms give a shit, to use your word there. But I think you only learn this through experience.
Right.
Being a mom made me a better CEO because I prioritize exactly what needs to get done. I empower, I delegate, have empathy and compassion. And I think the world needs that. That is exactly what leadership needs, leaders need. And so, this whole question of balance is always a really tricky one. I don't think that's even the right way to look at it. It's like, how do I get my job done and then show up for my kids?
Yep.
But for me, I'm motivated by the fact that I want the world to be better for my kids. And because we do that and we can enable amazing access to healthcare, especially mental health, like that's just so motivating to me. And I actually feel so lucky to be able to do something that I love that makes a positive difference in the world too. So becoming a mom has only actually reinforced that for me.
Love it. I mean, you just nailed what I've been saying for the last 20 years. Moms are the number one. I mean, that's I'm telling you, hands down, I'd hire a mom first over anybody. They absolutely know how to get things done. This is awesome.
I agree with that. And before we wrap up, one of the great joys of being an investor is working with people like Erica. Thank you for letting us on your journey. It's been a true honor, and we're just getting started.
Yeah.
We're just getting started.
That's right.
And it's a big business, but it's going to be very big.
Yes, it is.
We've seen enough to know it's going to be big.
Knock on wood there, but
So
yeah.
thank you.
Very exciting.
We
Thank
appreciate
you.
it. We love you, and we'll talk to you soon.
Thanks for coming on.
Good luck, of course.
Thanks.
Okay, before we get into anything else,
Yeah, this is big.
I'm like super excited.
This is big.
There is a guy, his name is Joshua Lofton.
Yeah.
I
This
don't
is
know
big.
Joshua.
Thank you.
I don't know if it's Josh or Joshua. He just bought
One of the
seats at dinner with Gary, Kass, and Mike, which is going to be probably my favorite night of the year other than our anniversary.
Thanks, hon.
I just want to clarify
Thank
that.
you very much on that one.
And thank you, Claire. I don't know if we can get Josh on at some point to talk about
Claire's working on
why
it.
he would do such a thing. Gary thinks that the $9,000 300 book dinner is way too cheap. We think it's priced perfectly, and Joshua agrees.
Thank you very much,
So
Joshua.
thank you.
Can't wait to have that dinner.
And so not everyone is like Joshua and probably can't afford $9,000 for a book about shit, shoveling shit, a love story. But we put together packages that hopefully anyone can access. And my favorite package, we've already sold a bunch of them, is the Dig In package.
Yeah, I agree.
And if you go to shovelingshit.com/shovel, this is a package that is maximum time with us. We just spend time with Seth.
Yeah,
I'm not
and
going to say his
Crystal.
last name, and Crystal. Seth was a little stuck. We helped him get unstuck.
Yep.
Now he's off and running. And so if you need to raise money, if
Yeah.
you need someone to look at your deck
Your
from an investor
your
standpoint,
business model, if something needs to pivot, this is the place to come in and literally dump everything, and we will help you pick it back up and put it back together. This is,
and you get everything that's in the first package of just one book.
but you literally have 4.
But it's like the access to
Yeah,
us.
it's the access, but
and
it-
the community.
Yeah, I found that the community is
Like
great.
it's been like, anyone who buys one book is part of the Founders Farm community. Honestly, it's basically therapy for entrepreneurs.
Agreed.
Our meetings have been so awesome, so vulnerable.
Yeah.
I cried once. Cass doesn't.
Mike cries
because she has ice in her veins.
I don't have ice in my veins. That's so rude.
You don't cry as much as I do. Let's just admit that.
Well, I think I'm just like Erica Jain that was here. I put my head down and I move forward. I don't have time
You're
to
both
cry.
badass
Yes.
women.
I don't have time to cry. You seem to have
What do you
time
mean
to
time
cry.
to cry? It just happens. I'm not like, oh, do I have time to cry? Cass is so regimented. She even blocks time to cry.
No.
Are we getting this on tape? This is what I'm dealing with, everyone. I'm trying to be emotional and
crazy.
like vulnerable.
Okay,
and
wait.
she's like, I'll have time.
Wait, I just want to also pause for 1 second
What-
because one of the things that I
mean,
also
come
am
on.
seeing. Let me just say this:
Tammy Holzman's here. Don't get nervous.
Tammy, thank you for laughing at my jokes here. But I will say this: there's a bunch of our kids' friends who got on,
Oh, the
and
best.
I want to say thank you to all Cole and Miles's friends.
I saw Hunter.
Yeah, I saw
Josh,
Hunter, Josh.
all the goofballs. I don't know their names.
I saw everybody. So I just want to say, I don't know if I've seen Cole. He might actually be, if you're there, Cole, say something. He might actually be in class.
He's too cool.
No, he's not too cool. That's so rude. So let's talk about this next package, because I actually do think that we should talk a little bit more about the New York Stock Exchange package, because I know we've got a couple minutes before our next guest, and I want to just talk about this. So Mike and I had the idea. First, when you write a book, everyone talks about all these book tours, right? And you like go and have these book parties. But really, we didn't want to just have them all about us. We wanted to give back to the actual community. And so we worked with our good friends over at the New York Stock Exchange, and they were super psyched to help us throw this huge party.
Thank you, Julie. We
Yep.
appreciate it. Thanks
Appreciate
for
you.
going to bat for us.
Yep. And it's going to be great. There's 300 spots.
June 2nd.
June 2nd. It starts at 6:30. It's in the boardroom of the epic New York Stock Exchange. It's going to be great. We're going to have content. And like Mike said before, you actually get to be with some of the top entrepreneurs of the city and investors. Here's the other part, okay? The investors part. And that's where I think there's going to be a slight change. So we're getting the top VCs and we're going to have the entrepreneurs. So this is your chance to like literally rub elbows with
What
the
I've
people.
realized, so you learn a lot writing a book, right? And what you realize is that people who you make a lot of money come to your events and support you. So this party will have the top New York investors, venture capitalists, and others. We're inviting every CEO in the city who generates more than $10 million in
Yep.
revenue,
Yep.
and people who support us in buying any of the packages that are the dig in and above. Excuse me, the New York Stock Exchange and above. New York Stock Exchange party package, the
Yep.
lunch with us.
Let me answer this question. How long are these packages available for?
Oh, they're not going to be there for a while.
So listen, these are very special ones that we have done just for Gary's followers, okay? And they're going to be live until 6 p.m. At 6 p.m. they get shut off, and then you've got to go to our packages and you'll see our regular packages. These are special ones that we wanted to give all of you guys, Gary's followers. So,
And the one that's definitely going to sell out is the Gary dinner. Gary sells these dinners at charity events for $100,000 each. So dinner with Gary typically goes for $100,000. I know this because we were at,
yes.
which one was it?
Pencils of Promise. Yeah.
Someone bid for a group dinner $100,000. Gary came over the top and said, "I'll take it for 110 because my time 112 because my time is that valuable to me."
Yeah. Yeah.
So he's now, if you were here for the kickoff, he's not happy that we priced it where we priced it. We're starting at the bottom. We're not assuming. We don't have the distribution of Gary. We're not famous like him, right? So we're starting low. But this is at his private club, okay? So Fly Fish Club, members only club, incredible sushi, incredible drinks. I don't drink, but people say it's incredible. And there are only 8 spots.
Wait, you don't drink because it's one of your cheat codes?
Oh, I don't drink because it makes me feel like shit.
Okay,
now, some people say I love weed.
But yes, as some people say. You love weed, that is true. But I also think that you're over 50, and I think you're learning that when you're over 50, you don't sleep as well after you've had alcohol.
Yes, and I snore, and then Kass gets very angry, and she says, "Go sleep somewhere else." I said, "No."
Yeah.
That's a conversation.
Actually, though, but you did just
That's a real conversation.
But the truth is you did just get that mouth guard, and I love this.
It's not a mouth guard. It's called a mandibular device.
It pushes his jaw forward so he looks like a little schnauzer when he sleeps. He's like this. It's like that.
Yeah,
it's very cute, and it has helped us. For anybody who has
how is that going to sell up books?
I'm just saying, if anyone has significant other who's snoring, listen, we can help you there. But anyway,
is this live?
This is live. So now let's go 1 more minute. Let's just quickly talk about the Kass and Mike lunch package. Okay. Again, we're trying to give back to the entrepreneurial community. And we have 100, this is basically, how do you spend time with us? An hour and a half or so. We're going to take you to the core club, which is members only as well.
That's the best.
And we're going to sit there. You can ask us anything. And literally, we are going to answer it.
And we'll go as long as you want.
Yeah.
We'll go 10-hour lunch.
Yeah.
Maybe we'll break the Guinness Book of World Records for the longest lunch.
I don't know if I can do that, to be truthful, because I get so antsy.
Okay, well, I don't want to blow. This next guy's very busy.
Yeah.
And there's so much to learn from him, and I'm so excited. So as we get Rich on board, I want to talk about one of my good friends, Rich. I don't buy a lot of stuff, but I love sneakers.
Yes.
And my sneaker world was revolutionized by a company called Complex Media.
That's right.
They were the first to cover sneaker culture and hip hop and, next gen recipes and all of this great stuff. And I think I sat outside of Rich's office and I was like, "Hey, I'm Michael." I think there was a tree there. I was stalking him. And not only did we become good friends, I saw him build an empire at Complex, and he's now gone on to do a lot more stuff. He's my rabbi, so when I need advice, he's one of probably 5 people. I'm like, "Yo, I need some advice." He has an incredible wine collection, even better guy. So let's bring Rich Antoniello.
Wait, before we do this?
No, let's bring him. He's sitting there.
Wait. I want to answer one thing. Is the lunch just for one? No, if you have a husband, we'll take the husband too. So we'll make that exception.
Yeah, come on. We'll do as many as you want.
Yeah.
Within
All
reason.
right, so let's go back to Rich. Can't wait to. There he is. Is he coming?
Cheers.
Hey.
There he is.
Dustin, thank you for changing that.
So Gary, when Gary left, when Gary left, he goes to me, "Ask Rich what kind of wine he's drinking."
I intentionally did that for Gary, by the way. I know, I opened up some Kistler peanut.
Ooh.
Kistler
We had to kick him out because he wouldn't let us talk to people.
Wait. Kistler.
Shocking, by the way. Shocking.
Shocking, right. Rich, tell me again what you're drinking.
Kistler, Sonoma Coast Guard.
Yeah, it's beautiful wine.
It's it goes perfectly with most of the menu at Maria, which is probably my favorite.
Ooh, love
Maria.
that.
Which, by the way, we have to do a lunch. Because I want to say this, you guys are underselling yourselves.
I love that.
I'm not joking. I have to get up on stage for 1 sec because you guys do not do a good enough job of selling yourselves in a specific way. Number one, like, look, first of all, the book is the shit to be beaten out of it already. Number one. But two is I don't think people understand, usually, whether it's a book or it's a person, you get one perspective. The yin yang of you two guys and Mike's top down and your bottom up.
Yep, you got it.
Massive ability you guys have to find, no matter what the problem is. Like, if I were coming at something, I'm going to have blind spots. The two of you guys together, what somebody has the opportunity to get with both of you, no blind spots, zero. And first of all, also, let's not even talk about who you guys could get to. But I'm just talking about that analysis that alone is what people need to understand.
Thank you, Rich. I appreciate that.
You have the floor for another hour.
Yes. and I'll get my check soon.
Yes, exactly.
Well, listen, we've been in the trenches together.
Yes.
Recently and going way back.
I have to correct your story, by the way.
Okay.
Because you know the other way. I was the one who was soliciting help from you.
Oh, really?
I wish it was the other way around, but I was going to let you be nice, but I want to correct the record.
Let's just say if that's true, I was doing a happy dance the day I got that email or text.
It's all good.
You've been through everything. We've seen the highs, the lows. You are a fighter. You are tough as balls, and you don't take no for an answer. What are some of the cheat codes that you've picked up that we can stack on top of the others to share with all of these shovelers?
So it's interesting, right? Like, over the 20 years of my career at Complex, we were about 7 different businesses, right? Started out as a magazine, pivoted to a digital ad network, pivoted to an owned and operated play,
Yep.
And then a diversified IP factory. We moved from print to digital text to photos to short form social video to mid form to long form IP, right? So all of those things happened, and we were always, I think, ahead of the curve from a timing perspective. So there's a couple of lessons there. I think you don't want to wait for the marketplace to shift to make your changes.
Yes.
Then you're along for the ride. You're in the caboose.
Yeah.
My viewpoint is I'd rather be early and take the pain of education and the pain of the extra friction from an audience adoption basis to be able to define where the marketplace is going. And to me, that is a very fair exchange. The other thing that I think is very important, and and Mike, keep me honest here, but I think one of the big reasons Complex was successful through all of those iterations is we never changed our brand, our tone, and the topics we covered. What we did change is our formats and our distribution platforms to optimize. And understanding what to change and what not to change is something else that most people, everything is not wholesale.
Yeah.
Right?
That's right.
And I think, and Kass, I know you're so pragmatic, right? And
Yep.
I like to say that I'll make this specific to you guys. I'm Mike from an ambition perspective and you from an execution perspective.
I love that. That's that's almost a perfect
One of the
human.
very few people.
Yeah. By the way, what I'm not allocating is the actual percentages. I'm 20% of Mike from an ambition and 20% of you from an
Got
execution.
it. I got it. But you know what? You said something important there, Rich, and I just want to make sure that everyone heard this. You are basically saying that you've got to be in the driver's seat and you're willing to risk the education of something that's new to market, whatever that is, or even pivoting, I imagine. And you also never changed the brand and the brand identity.
So
you never did that.
My favorite, I think the best entrepreneur of all time, and I know people will argue with me, is Jeff Bezos. And let me explain why.
Okay.
Nobody has gotten the overarching strategy and vision better.
Yeah.
Think about this. Steve Jobs made a mistake and lost his company. Jeff Bezos made one of the biggest mistakes in history that no one even remembers, the Fire Phone.
Yeah.
Yep.
It was barely a hiccup. And you know why? Because he had stickers he had pot stickers everywhere and 50 other things, and he was hedging his bets.
Yeah, he pivoted.
Not even pivot, iterated.
He'd
right?
iterated. Yeah.
It's like literally being steadfast around your vision and being uncompromising there, but being very iterative and around your behaviors and the way you execute. That to me is why Amazon is where they are.
Yeah.
And to me, like his investor letters, if you really want to learn how to run a business, read Bezos's investor letter, because it's a master class. I'd rather have that than an MBA from anywhere.
Yeah, I agree with you there.
But I look at it and we're trying to dig in here a little bit and be very specific. I don't think enough people understand that you have to your point earlier, take control of understanding where you want to go. I think a lot of people don't even have a vision for where they really want to go. And if you're just like trying to be an also-ran when you first start, you're fucked before you even start.
I totally agree. We talk about this all the time. In the book, we talk about how you have to know what you're doing, right, at all times. And you have to be able to focus on those big rock priorities, and you have to be able to identify them. And that's it. Then you need to spend all of your time focusing on them, right? The rest is pebbles and sand. And you cannot get distracted.
And if you consistently you want to talk about elevating your staff and making your business more efficient and effective, if you set a good precedent for showing people how consistent you're going to be about prioritization and sequencing of your execution, you don't need to be in the room every single second for every single meeting and
That's right. You don't have to micromanage. You can actually delegate, and then you get the implicit trust back. And so the whole team's moving forward at the same time. It's brilliant.
And but it's not just feeding that big overarching vision,
right,
and letting them go. It's being supportive on a consistent basis to show them that you're willing to say no to something, reshuffle the priorities if it's right, and show them that thought process so they can apply it themselves.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, one of the things we did always too when we had to pivot, and we pivoted 4 times, right, at Buddy Media, was we were maniacal about sharing the vision, whatever the vision, mission, goals were, and if they changed. And I would tell our leadership team, so Mike and everybody else, that they had to take every opportunity. So if they're on a one-on-one, you say it again. You're in a big all-team, you say it again. You're in a team meeting, you say it again. And you do it over and over and over again. And then you delegate, right?
Well,
and
you know what's funny about that, though? That there's a layer to that. I know what you're saying. I want to make sure everybody else understands that. It's not just the political thing of saying it over and over and over again. There's a reason for it, because the death, especially of a business that is trying to establish a new brand or doing something new and different in a marketplace, the level of education, you need a pure agenda. Everyone needs to be rowing in the same direction,
same speed.
If you do not talk about that agenda every single day, you have people going off on their own little interpretations of it.
And that's yep.
I don't have that.
And I learned that the hard way. Like I would wander into the engineer area and I'd be like, hey, wouldn't it be cool if we did this?
Rich, do you know that?
Which in their mind was like, oh, the CEO wants me to do that. Right. They'd show up in 2 days. They'd be like, I did it. I'm like, what do you mean you did it?
But do you realize that I made a rule after that one time that Mike was no longer allowed to walk onto the engineer floor?
I was so pissed.
Say it like, look, first of all, most engineers don't need any prodding to be like, oh, let's add some extra features and show off.
Or or this is more fun over here. Let's do this.
Exactly. And Mike, I can totally I'm surprised you didn't walk into the office with like horse blinders on.
Honestly, there's 2 things. So there's that where I banned him from the engineering area and floor. And the second thing was, and I've said this before, is he had an assistant.
This pissed me off when I heard this. I fucking went crazy.
Really? And you went crazy, and then it worked though. So here's the thing: the actual assistant was in cahoots with me because Mike is very generous with his time, and he always helps whoever calls him. And I always said to him, "You've got to focus, and you got to make sure each meeting is moving forward our goals. And so what he would do is he'd just take any call. So I told the assistant every meeting had to go by me, and I would basically say yes or no.
But for the record,
Talk about a filter.
the amount
But that's
the amount of value we've delivered for ourselves because I've taken random cold calls
That's what I was about to say.
is
Hold on.
huge.
Listen.
It's why we're in this office
But
today.
wait,
I took it from Gary.
But wait, okay, deep breath, honey, deep breath. Okay, the
This
thing,
isn't going well for me, Rich. We're gonna have to talk later.
so the thing is, I'm not talking about the random phone calls. I'm talking about the number of people who just wanted to shoot the shit with you. And those people we didn't have time for.
Yeah, I got better. The picking my brain thing I realized wasn't good.
That
for us.
wasn't helping us.
To be fair though, this if you had to really assess that and the direct and the indirect upside of it, that is both Mike's greatest superpower and greatest weakness at the same time.
Exactly.
Oh, I have other weaknesses. That'll be in the next
I
hour.
was trying to be nice, Mike.
Thank you.
I love it.
Well, what I will say about kind of your experience as an entrepreneur, your ability to pivot an organization was really impressive. Complex started as text. There was no video. There was some photos. You were the first media executive I know who went all in on video shows, didn't hold back. You can't go like most of the other media companies like, oh, let's do a little video. And it's
You can't do little video.
You went all in. You then went all in on social, and you brought your whole organization with you, which is hard because you didn't have any video people.
Oh, I'm gonna tell you a quick story. Okay.
Please.
We went hardcore into video at the top of 13, right? Like we had been doing video, and I know that sounds like a long time ago, but you have to remember at that point, YouTube was basically like face to camera Pootie Pie stuff.
Right.
Right. Like, and I'm not trying, and by the way, no knock on Pootie Pie. I'm just saying, right? I'm recontextualizing this, right? And and why I think that's important to understand is Superstorm Sandy was October of 2012.
That's right.
So I had a meeting. I would do meetings, and like this is a great lesson too. Like when you have a big organization and you want to be successful at moving hearts and minds, not just the execution from a directive perspective, but hearts and minds go first, and then the directives come afterwards. You have to do smaller meetings. The all hands stuff is great. But
I agree.
You can't count on it trickling down. It's get a small group that are driving any initiative.
That's right.
And make sure you are as lockstep as possible. So I had a meeting in March of 2013, and one of the editors of our sneaker guy, with the editorial team, and I said, listen, guys, look at it this way. Like, because they were like, okay, so when do we how do we continue to scale this text to video thing? And I said, we don't scale the text to video thing. We are moving right to video. And they go, wait, I don't understand. And I'm like, listen, we just had Superstorm Sandy, right? And like New York was flooded forever.
Right.
Let's say we were a car company and we were making cars. And the first 6 months of this initiative, because we went into hardcore into video in like October, November, was actually right around the time of Superstorm Sandy. And I'm like, what we did was great. We took all the stories that we were going to write and did video versions of them initially. Yep. I go, Russ, that's like us going, we were great. The storm hit. We make cars. Let's make, like, we were the better at people of turning the cars into boats. I go, would it be the dumbest thing in the world to go, if the water never receded, which the water is never going to recede, we're in a world of video, right? So are we going to continue to make cars and then turn them into boats, or do we learn how to make boats?
Exactly.
I go,
such a great analogy.
Like, I'm like, and you got to be direct with people, right? Yeah. Like there's no line. Like I'm not good at, I don't, this shit does not come with a pillow and a blanket. You got to tell people straight up.
Yep.
Well, hopefully you don't mind that I'm going here, but one of the things about being an entrepreneur is it's not always healthy. At Buddy Media, I weighed 40 pounds more than I do now.
I weighed 25 more.
I don't think we were particularly connected at the end. Take a toll in our relationship. We had
Yeah.
offices in Singapore and throughout
London,
Europe,
yeah.
and I know that you also, had to kind of take stock of your health.
Yep.
I don't know how much you want to talk about that. You haven't talked a lot about publicly, but anything that you've learned through your journey that can help other entrepreneurs not basically die earlier like we were on the path to.
So here's the thing. I'm going to say something that is, and you guys help me either think about it better. Look, and I know you guys well enough to know that this is true also. Like, maybe now at this point, after success and experience, I can qualify this, but I'm not, there's no excuse to fucking lose in my book. None. Zero.
Right.
You can always figure it out. Right.
Right.
And I know you guys are the same. And if you have that mentality, unfortunately, the gear that you're in is unsustainable.
That's
but it's
right.
also necessary for the business.
It's a necessary evil. Yep.
I hate to say this whole allure of doing it right and having balance. I'm not saying you can do it a lot better than I did it, a lot better. I mean, I was having, like my heart would accelerate out of I had to take a break.
It was scary. I remember. It was
bad, man.
Real deal.
It was really bad.
But you're right. It's unfortunate. It's a byproduct of wanting to win, to literally do what Erica Jain said, which is just heads down, execute, and find a solution. That's it. You are going to move forward.
And I think I'm going to say one other thing that I think is also people don't think about and talk about. I say this all the time. And this is why I say most people should not be an entrepreneur. I really do believe this is, if you're going to make it just about your success and money, then don't even
Then
start.
don't do it. Exactly.
Because what people don't get is you work at a large organization and you make a mistake, you lose your job.
Yep.
We fuck up. Everybody else in their family.
The livelihood of everyone else.
And if you do not have that approach, you got to have big eyes from a vision perspective
and big shoulders
from like shielding everybody and taking responsibility for everything. And if you can't check both of those boxes at a minimum,
right,
don't bother.
I love that. We in our first company together, golf.com, we were bought by ChipShot. And we were promised, this was in December of 99, right after we got married, we were promised they were going public. They had their S1 filed. They were going public in April of 2000. They called us in March and basically said that Sequoia had pulled the S1, they pulled the funding, and that was it. They were in bankruptcy. And I remember the first thought, Rich.
Had you gotten most of your money?
Well, it was just a stock trade because that's what
we had board, zero. We didn't even have a bank account.
Oh my God!
The three founders and then there was a stock option pool, of course, because that's what I believe in. But it was all stock, so we trade that in. We didn't even have bank account access, and the first thing that ran through my mind wasn't like, oh shit, how am I going to tell our parents that the angel money and all that? Was what am I going to do to the employees? How am I going to break the news to them? Because this is their livelihood. This is their health insurance. This is everything.
And they do it because they believe in you as much as they believe in the vision of the company.
Yeah. Well, we had a big lesson learned there. The more transparent you are, the better. Employees do not mind bad news. They mind surprises.
Yep.
No, that's right. With one caveat. I think you have to make sure you're never lying, but you have to make sure that there is a balance of hope and reality.
Yeah. I agree with that.
Yeah, that's my one caveat.
I agree. I mean, I will say, we went out there and I said, look, we have nothing. And also Mike and I had nothing. I think
we're all in.
I think we had $500 in our checking account.
There's no diversification in the Lazaro household.
And
most entrepreneurs have zero.
Right. But not one employee left. And that was a big lesson for us is that, you have to be transparent because, in the bad times or in the pivot times when you have to make changes, it helps.
one quick story. Do you guys have time? So
Yeah, we got time.
Please.
It's worth it. So we were previously funded by Echo, the Rhino, for the first, when we were the magazine, and then we pivoted into the digital ad network, and we were still funded during that time by them as a separate LLC. And we were about to break out of that and by the way, you'll laugh at the timing, August of 2008.
Yeah.
First term sheet from Excel and Austin Ventures. Miraculously, Lehman happens in September.
Oh.
Every term sheet in the world got pulled. Now, what ended up happening is Echo's was overextended, lost their line of credit from CIT as well on a corresponding basis, and we were running out of capital. And I'm going to give you, I can only tell aspects of this because I'm trying to respect people.
Yeah.
But let's just say, we needed to take 32% of our costs out of the business. And this media, it's all people, right?
Is.
So my viewpoint was this. I went, and instead of firing 32% of our staff, which by the way, if we did, we wouldn't have a business.
Right.
But also, like, you can't, in that environment, you can't let people go. You have to hold on to people.
Yep.
This is 08, 09, right?
Right.
Yep.
So I went to all of our executive team and said, listen, I'm going to take a 60% pay cut. If you all take 50%, we can keep every single person on.
I love this.
I did not expect our team, like, you got to remember, like, this is, and by the way, it's still startup salaries. So we're not talking,
it's not a lot of money. Yeah.
No, it's not a lot, but it's
right.
And we were going to be able to do it. Not one person said no. Not one single person. Now, here's the beautiful part is not 11 out of those 15 people were still there when we sold in 16.
How amazing is that?
And they all netted 7 figures or more.
How great is that?
Incredible. But that's leadership. You're transparent. You shared the bad news with them. I say this, I would say every other day. People don't mind bad news. They hate surprises. And
they do. And when you are being more self-inflictive of the pain, that goes a long
yeah. I mean, I think both of us, all three of us, have come from a time where there weren't big salaries or like decent salaries as entrepreneurs. Like we had zero.
I call it bologna and Cheerios.
Right. I mean,
salaries.
At golf.com, we made zero each of us for 2 or 3 years, and then went up to like 30, and then 30,000 and 40,000. And we were in Chicago. Thank God, we would never have been able to afford it here. But you're right. If you're inflicted as much, if not more, it's definitely helpful. Also, I think being humble, right? Like we never got into this. You said it from the beginning. We never got into this to make millions of dollars. We got into this to lead. I know I wanted to build. I wanted to, create companies where people liked coming to work more than they didn't. That was my goal. 100%. And so because I got a lot back from that, right? That was my big thing. So I love that. I love that story. It's so great. And to hear that those people made money, that much money at the end.
What's funny when people ask me what I'm most proud of, and there's a lot. Like, and I don't, by the way, I don't say that from an ego perspective.
Yeah.
I mean, like, we've just accomplished so much.
Yeah.
Look, returning 17x for your original investors, those are tech multiples on a media business.
Yeah.
Nobody does that. That's what we did for our original investors.
It's amazing.
Right? That's amazing. All that is great. The amount of people that walked away with significant life-changing money to me is the biggest. It's number one by far.
And those phone calls or those conversations, weren't they the best? That's what I remember.
Our first employee, Abby Lauterbach, started with us as a babysitter for our children.
And then kidding me.
No.
And now she's like a senior executive at LinkedIn.
Yeah.
But seeing her make real money at what, 12?
No, she was
at 12.
I don't know, like 26.
26.
Oh my gosh.
To be able to buy an apartment, buy a house. Like I'm driven much more by kind of fear of failure and not wanting to lose.
But I'm going to add.
We never talked about money when we were doing this stuff.
I want to add one more thing, and I know you guys do this. This is why I have no problems bringing it up. It's great that all those people made money at yours and mine, my situation. But usually you have to, like as the employee, you have to choose, am I going to have great experience or am I going to make money?
That's right.
We gave them both.
Both. Yes, I agree.
Don't sleep on that.
And exactly, we gave them both because it was important to us.
We hired from within, we promoted,
you know, and also I will say, I know for me, I'll say it for myself, I got as much out of it as I think our employees did. I mean,
more.
Exactly. The days of buddy media, we called them buddies, right? I mean, they're my most cherished times.
And every company can do this.
Yeah.
1,000%.
You know,
look, I'm hardly what I would call the smartest person in the room.
Yeah.
And, you know,
I'd agree with that.
Thank you, Mike. I was waiting for the date. But you know, like when you start all these things, like, look, man, I was inexperienced and didn't have that level of confidence to be able to figure it all out. And, you know, like I was random and all of these things that take time and effort to like go through. And the reason I'm better at those things is because of the patience and the support I received from the people I worked with.
Yes, I agree with you.
I remember our meeting at the old core club, and you were at a crossroads, and a lot of the meeting was talking about what this meant for employees.
Yeah.
Right.
Which is a great meeting.
And it was a big, like, you know, it was a big deal. And like, there's a lot of money on the table. And not once did you say me, me, me. Before we wrap up, because I know I could hang out with you forever, any parting words to this incredible community, which is part ours, but like much more Gary's because he happens to have 40 million followers?
Yeah, well, I mean, that's an understatement. You know, it's funny. I think Gary does an unbelievable job of putting himself out there. What's interesting is I actually think if once you know him, and he's to me is the ultimate entrepreneur.
Oh, the best.
Oh, yeah.
Like, and when I say that, every purview he has is for making something bigger, better, faster.
Yeah.
Bigger, better, faster.
It's incredible.
Yep.
And it's there. That is unbelievable, right? And I hope that everybody aspires not to buy the caricature of Gary, right? Of the hustle point, but of the amazing energy level, the optimism, the incredible generosity of how he operates.
And the ability to focus on the right things.
He's so positive.
Look, prioritization. My two favorite words are prioritization and sequencing.
Yes.
Right. And being very deliberate about both. And, you know, none of this stuff is as complicated as your investors or your board will let you make it. Right. By the way, number one, that is a great piece of advice. And the other is the harder something is, your first move is not to try and solve. It's empirically reduce it down to what is only important and the inflection point.
I hope everyone heard that. Reduce it down.
Yeah. And where
through all this shit.
Where can everyone find you online? What's best?
Like my two favorite spots are probably LinkedIn and X.
Perfect.
So Rich Antoniello on LinkedIn and at Rich Antoniello on X.
Awesome. All right.
Can't thank you enough.
Thank you.
We love you.
Guys,
we love you, and we appreciate you. And we'll see you soon. And
100%.
Let's
and remember,
hang.
sell the yin yang. You guys are the whole package.
We're just getting used to the sales thing, but we'll figure it out.
100%.
Thanks, buddy.
100%. Enjoy.
Thank you. All right.
Okay, so I got a few things.
Well, first of all, I'm going to have to go to the bathroom.
Okay, go to the bathroom.
Okay, and I'm serious.
Go to the bathroom. Kass has a very large prostate, so she's got to go to the bathroom. You know, I like that I'm by myself now because Kass kind of like interrupts, and then that guy Gary. But what I've realized talking to these entrepreneurs is we all start out in a dark room. And you launch a company, you buy a company, you inherit a company, and you don't know anything, and it's dark, and you're looking for the doorknob to get out of the room to find the light, right? And you're riddled with fear, and you're riddled with uncertainty. And when there's fear and uncertainty, there's doubt. Am I good enough? Did I pick the right market? Am I doing the right thing, right? And I think just listening to Rich, listening to Erica, listening to Gary, the way that you combat this fear, which is crippling, is confidence. And it's why we wrote this book, because if we can give you the cheat codes to help you not get rid of the fear, you're never going to get rid of the fear. I'm scared of sharks. If I'm in the ocean, there's nothing you can tell me to get me to not be scared of sharks, right? So I can't say, oh, don't be scared. That doesn't work. What works is being able to make decisions despite the fear, right? Being able to kind of interact with people in a positive way, being able to kind of moneyball the right people without being driven by fear. And I hope that that's what the 50 cheat codes we have in this book help you with. How do you, from the beginning, green light the best ideas? We have something called the Go Gauge in the book, right? Which is the 6 questions you need to answer in order to decide whether to do the business. Entrepreneurs are all optimists. All we want to do is look at what could be, not what if, right? So how do you greenlight ideas? How do you pick the right co-founder? We've seen so many mistakes here. And once you build that confidence, you'll make informed decisions. You'll be able to operate within this hurricane of fear. And it's just a mindset. I listened to Rich, and it's like, it's not that his businesses were any riskier or more challenging. He built a way to navigate it that worked for him, and he wasn't paralyzed by it.
What do I miss?
Oh,
By the way,
you missed so much. You'd be so unhappy.
Wait, I just want to say this before I left.
You'd be so unhappy with what I just said.
Wait, one of the things I wanted to say. What did he say, people? Someone put it in the chat. One of the things I
How
wanted
was
to
your
say
tinkle?
is that isn't it you have to go more if you have a small prostate, not a big one?
Are there any doctors on the plane?
I thought it was.
I don't know.
You need a small prostate makes you go.
Anyway,
more. Can we? Are you done?
Well, what I was going to say is, I just want to thank a few people. And Claire, this is for you. Josh Lofton bought 2 seats to the dinner.
No way. He did not.
Is that true? Because if it is, please send a limo to wherever he is. I want to talk to him right now.
Did he? Who's saying this? Did he?
I'm just looking at Slack, which is where we get everything.
Let's
and so
just-
that's number 1. So I don't know who he is, but I love him. Number 2, Daniel Posner. Thank you.
What did
You
he
get
buy?
it. He bought the dig-in package.
Nice.
And I can't wait to do 101, meet him.
That's gonna be
I don't
awesome.
know who you are. The other thing is, and I'm a little disappointed because for a while, in the first hour, we'd sold exactly 420 books.
Yeah.
It just said 420. I'm like, this is the best event ever.
Oh, here we go. 420.
It's 420. Someone ruined it and bought more
Okay,
books.
wait,
So now
wait.
we're way past
Can
that.
Can I also say there was someone, and I've forgotten her name because, and you can
Chef,
come back
was
in.
that Tammy?
No, she wanted to know if we do a lunch in LA, and I thought, yeah,
Yeah.
definitely. So if
Now's
you,
the time to ask anything.
Yeah.
You want one of our kids? Great. 500 bucks.
there's no. Wonder,
Actually, we'll
wait,
pay you 500 bucks.
Wonder which kid it'll be. And by the way, when I said I didn't know if Cole was watching, our middle kid, I just want you to know on the text within minutes, he sends us a picture of him watching the live. Of course you're watching. Oh my God, look at Cole. Cole just said, not me, chill. We won't sell you, Cole. We won't.
Yeah, we won't sell Cole.
And
He's
by the way,
nicest one.
I also saw Sam Singer on here, one of Cole's
Singer.
buddies.
Speaking of LA,
Yeah, he's there.
yeah. So yes, we'll do LA.
If you want it.
But let me just focus.
Okay,
Let's
that's hard,
focus.
but that's hard for you. Sorry.
Oh my
I had
God.
to. I just can't help it.
Oh my God.
Wait, Mike, do you want to change your hat?
Do you
I think
guys
it's
see-
time. I think it's time to change your hat. Thank God we got that off. I don't know where he got that.
Ooh.
Okay, much better. Yum. So we're going right to fish.
You
Here we
enjoy myself. Okay, so let's focus for a second.
go. Okay.
Now, I want to talk about one of the events that is in the package. We have the New York Stock Exchange package. Thank you, Julie, at the New York Stock Exchange for hosting it. New York Tech Week is the culmination of entrepreneurship in New York City. The official kickoff of New York Tech Week is at the New York Stock Exchange at the official Shoveling Shit, a Love Story launch party.
You're saying official a lot.
It is. It's our official launch party.
I know, but you said it twice.
Well, that's what I sold the sponsorship for, so I have to. Thank you, Stifel, the bank, for being one of the
Premier sponsors.
presented by.
Yes, presented by.
Presented by Stifel.
Or is it Stifel?
We're inviting all of our friends who've been successful entrepreneurs. We like the ones who failed as well, but we have limited space, so we're not going to invite the losers yet. But the winners, the ones who've really built great businesses, people, businesses like Warby Parker.
Oh, yeah.
You guys know Warby Parker and others like that. It's going to be the room to be in for New York Tech Week. And I just look at this package and I agree with Gary.
Now you're agreeing, even though I made you review it twice.
You
You
only
get-
have to buy 40 books to get an invite to
Do you-
this thing?
do you know
Can
how-
we change this on the
Can I just
website
say
now?
something
Because we're
really
selling a
quickly?
lot of them. We don't have enough space.
Can I just say something really quickly? You don't look at the things I send you.
No, I had no idea. Neither did Gary. You trusted me and Gary. Neither of us looked at it.
Yeah, yeah.
So 40 books. You don't have to touch the books because we will send it to your list. We have an operations team to do that. You get everything I'm talking about, from membership to the Founders Farm, advanced chapters of the book, the Seth Meyers interview, this toolkit, which is everything we use to launch our businesses, right? The masterclass, 4.5 hours with us, and a ticket to this event for less than the price of dinner, basically,
Yeah,
in New York City.
yeah. And now I'm apparently getting a DJ.
Yeah. Our son, Miles, please don't price gouge us. So I love that. That is my favorite package. If you can't go big like Josh, we get $9,000 for dinner with Gary and the two of us schmucks is a lot.
Hey, speak for
But
yourself.
40 books for like,
All
to
right.
go, it's at the New York Stock Exchange boardroom. It's a
know.
historic room. It's the home of capitalism.
Why did you have to go
That's
like
what they
this?
told me. 100 years.
Wait. How old were you when you first went? You told me this story the other day.
So I came to New York City when I was a very young boy. I think I was 10 or 11. I don't know if my mom is in the crowd, Nancy Zirkin. Came to New York City.
Did you just give your mom a shout out?
Yeah. And I was blown away. I'm like, a lot of things happening here. And we got a tour of the New York Stock Exchange because my stepfather, Harold Zirkin, I love very much, I guess knew a broker or something. And we went on the floor and it was crazy.
That was the old days too. with
Yeah, it was the old
tickets.
days. They're like, tickets everywhere.
Yeah.
I don't know how they understood what they were buying and selling. And then I went back to meet with Julie, who is hosting us, and just got this like incredible feeling because fast forward all this time and we've had 35 exits from the companies that we've invested in. We've taken companies public.
We started 8 companies.
Yeah, Salesforce, obviously, huge public company. I was chief strategy officer. So it was this kind of like full circle moment of this little kid who I think, was just kind of like taking it in and thinking back, that could have been where my entrepreneurial,
Spirit came from.
well, that and my like lack of like what they call good grades.
That's what they call it.
They didn't label kids as like whatever, ADD, and they just said, oh, he's dumb.
I don't think anyone's called you dumb.
Oh, yeah, it was good. I mean, I got
I
1080 on the SATs. But let me ask one question. Well, let me answer one question. Jeff, you and only you, so don't tell anyone.
Jeff who?
Jeff Shoup, I can't really see the screen.
Oh yeah, shoot.
I have the worst eyesight.
Can we bring a guest to the New York?
Only you can bring a guest if you buy right now, but don't tell anyone. Okay? Please. Because like Matt Britton is my friend who just showed up, and he's not allowed to bring anyone.
No,
so
you're-
don't tell anyone. And he
Maddie.
brought 100 books.
Maddie, you are allowed to.
Why don't we
bring
get
someone.
Matt? Hey, can we get Matt Britton up here?
I don't know if we can. We'd have
Is there
to
any way
send
to
it
get-
him. We have 5 minutes.
Matt Britton's one of the all-time greatest
He's
New York.
such a
Can we
hustler.
get Matt Britton here?
Let's see if we can. We're gonna ask Claire, but let me ask you this, okay?
Yeah.
Mike, while we wait.
Don't
to see
go
if-
anywhere, Matty B.
We wrote a lot of cheat codes, and we had a lot of stories in there. What's your favorite? And you have to pick one. You can't like hedge.
My
this.
favorite is don't shine the turd. Do not shine the turd.
Why
I
are you
learned
saying
this.
it so loudly?
It was such a hard lesson. I walked into a golf.com board meeting
I asked you the very simple question:
And-
how were sales? Which
and
weren't
the
good.
Cass like, how is sales? Matty
Matt
B's
just said. Matty V just
Oh,
said.
yeah,
we
yeah,
said we
yeah.
wanted him to come on. And he said, "I'm naked."
Hey Claire,
now."
please,
Okay.
please do not reach out to Matty B.
It's a joke.
Even though he's ripped because he works out with Rico Wesley. What were we talking about?
What your best cheat code is? Pay
Oh, my
attention.
best cheat code. I walked into the board meeting and I'm like, oh, they're pretty good. Like this, sales are like up and to the right. And the investor like slams his hand down, slams it down and says, don't ever shine the turd. I know you guys suck.
He didn't say suck.
In my head, that's what it
Well,
like.
no, he just said don't shine the turd.
And
Basically,
like from
Mike-
that moment on, I was like, share the good, the bad, the ugly.
That's right.
And Matt Cesario, I have no idea where you are. I know you're a really rich guy because you were so rich back then. When
Wait,
you,
hey, simmer down on those things.
whatever, rich people don't come on YouTube. That really impacted me. I mean, I was like, man, like surprises suck. And so that one cheat code has saved me so much heartache. Like, don't shine the turd. That's probably my favorite one.
I'm gonna give one. I don't know if it's my favorite, but the one that
Did I
always
ask for yours?
wow,
For the record?
rude. One of the ones that I always think of, and I think it also helps employees. But I think as a manager, for all the managers out there, especially when you're running a startup, everyone likes to inflate titles. And I think that sucks because you're going to come in and have to clean it up. But what I used to say all the time to everybody is do the job you have and do the job you want.
Yep.
Okay? And that basically made everybody just shut it and show us their best work. And if you did, then you promote within. So I like that as a cheat
Help
code.
Me Harlan just went big on the packages.
What did he buy?
Harlan Cohen, another incredible entrepreneur.
He's a big one.
Why isn't he?
Said he bought the Dig In.
Why isn't he here?
Yeah. What, Mike? So Harlan.
Wait,
I
we got to
just-
focus because we got like a really good one in 1 minute.
Okay. So Harlan, thank you. You know how much we love you, and we appreciate your support.
Yes, and please share this to your hundreds and thousands of millions of followers.
Actually, I will say this: Harlan's been doing a lot of love
I
toward
know
us.
he's the best. And for those of you who can't buy the book for whatever reason, which we understand that like the world is pressure testing its end, just share and tell your friends that maybe we're giving away some cheat codes that they may be interested in. But
All right, who do we have?
shovelingshit.com/shovel. Check out all of the
All right. So
packages.
let's get to this. This guy's special.
man, oh man. So
Let's talk about him.
let me introduce him.
Okay.
I met this guy who introduced himself as DJ Ski many years ago
SKEE.
at CES, I think. And I'm like, man, he's cool. He doesn't drink. He's like super fit. And he's like, oh yeah, I've got all these things going on. And then I looked on like Wikipedia and I was like, first DJ to play Lady Gaga, first DJ to play Kendrick Lamar, first DJ to play all these people, produced stuff for Snoop and Michael Jackson, and has launched many ventures. Some we've been a part of, some we haven't. And so when I thought about cheat codes, someone who, when he was 18 years old, would fly from Minneapolis to LA to get the latest hip hop tracks, fly back on Sunday or Monday, play those on a radio show, then was hired by the #1 LA station to be their hip hop DJ, and one of the greatest guys who we
Ever.
know, and
also
a mentor and a great role
I would
model
also
for
say
kids everywhere.
and the sweetest. He is a very kind man.
Yeah, very kind. So, ladies and gentlemen, I want to welcome DJ Ski to National Shoveling Day. He's a little nervous because it's his first National Shoveling Day. So he's done a lot of stuff in his career, but he's never done Shoveling Day.
The nerves are on me, especially after that intro. How kind can I be? Seriously, I'm here just before we get started because everything you said is a reflection of you guys. You know, you guys.
That's so nice of you to say.
Oh, say more.
True,
Say more,
truly
please, Ski.
help my entrepreneurial journey so much, and still do all the time. So the fact that people can now get this in a book, the world isn't ready. So we're about to have a lot more entrepreneurs running around, which is great. So.
I love that. Well, welcome to National Shovel Day, Ski. And also, I wanted to just say we miss you on this side of the coast. So we're looking forward to seeing you.
We got to hang. I can't wait to see you guys out here soon. I know you guys are coming out. So.
Yeah. Also, I'm just looking at one of the chats. Our son Miles says the best at Ski. That's right.
That's how Miles. What's up?
What's up? That's right. All right, Mike. What do you want to ask Ski?
Well, I will say that Jeff just upgraded to the New York Stock Exchange package. Jeff, I fucking love you. I fucking love you. Can't wait to party with you. Anyone who buys gets shout outs, and I'm bringing them up here.
Okay.
So, Ski, we've been through a lot together.
Yep.
Like, we've seen a lot.
We've shoveled a lot. We've shoveled
a lot of shit as friends, as investors.
Yep.
Talk about some of the cheat codes that you picked up since you started hustling when you were 18 years old that you think this amazing group could benefit from.
You know, it's interesting. You helped me change. I was going to say something else, but hearing that intro reminded me of kind of the core reason that I got here. It's really figuring how you can add value to others, right? So many people are coming in and like, Mike, you know, so-and-so, Kass, you do this, help me with that. And you're like, what can I do? Instead, figure out, you have to give almost before you can receive. And it's more and more true the earlier that you start, right? So like,
Agreed.
If I was trying to get Mike and Kass's attention to get something, I would buy their books and go to their thing right now. That's how you do it. Before, I might have a Redskins thing for Mike, right? Like there's little hacks that you can do.
Learning and bringing value, right?
I'll tell you, there's one guy on this stream who's become, I think, a friend, and I think over time a close friend, Seth Neistat.
Yep.
Who I auctioned something off at VFriends. It was a limited edition comic book. He doesn't even like comics, I don't think, or NFTs. He bought it. We then became friends, and he's been at the Founders Farm meetings. He's like supported us. Yeah. And like when he calls, I'm like, yes, let's go, right? So I never thought about like buying books as a way to build a relationship, but we did that all the time. We bought like 1,000 of Gary's books over the years.
Well, I mean, I think what Ski's saying, tell me if I'm wrong, Ski, is that this is about not just taking, like you said, it's about receiving. So it's bringing value, right? So if you want to get someone's attention, help them.
Yeah,
do what they need.
100%. I got my big break from Steve Rifkin when I was 16 years old, right? And I got connected with him. He's the CEO of the biggest hip hop record label in the world. I'm a 16-year-old living in Minneapolis.
16-year-old.
4 a.m. shift on radio. He doesn't need me. I need him a lot more. But you know why he needed me?
Yep.
Because the way I made my money was I was selling PS2s, and all my friends worked at Target or Best Buy, so I'd pay him $20 to tell me when the shipments would come in, and I'd go buy them all. And happened to be Stretch Armstrong, who was a mentor of mine and a great DJ, was meeting with Steve. It was right before Christmas. He randomly brings up something. It's like, I need to get Alex, his son, a PS2. I can't find him, which is crazy because Sony Records distributed it. But anyways, Stretch is like, I got this little kid in Minneapolis that's there, and from that, like my value to Steve at the time was delivering a Christmas gift that was impossible to get to his son, right? I had something that was of outsized value, and I hooked him up and stayed close and built that relationship. And it's kind of the same today with clients, right? Like it's figuring out what's important to them and how you get in and how you can add value instead of just coming in and taking from them. What can you do, and how can you provide benefit, because then there's a lot of little hacks. And it's, I always say, if you want to get my attention, if you were to say like, oh, I'll pay you X amount to go to lunch with you, it's probably just like, you think of it as differently. But if you were to say, oh, I have this pair of shoes or something that's wild, right? Like, and you hook, like, that's probably a better way to get my attention. So you find like what value you can add.
You're the master at that.
Yeah, I agree.
Like you were doing that to me, but I didn't even know it. I'm like ending up on like the sidelines of the, Vikings Eagles championship game with you.
Yep.
I'm like, hey, I can't find these shoes. You're like, oh, I got them. Right? Ski has, for the record, Ski has like 3,000 shoes or more.
Wait, I thought you were selling some.
I got rid of a lot.
You did.
He got rid of a lot, but he still has like signed Kobe's, like game worn. Like he's one of the greatest collections.
I mean, those are like a big deal.
Could you tell everyone the newest business, which I think is awesome, The Realist?
So we've got a company called The Realist where we really connect the fans to audiences. I realized as a big collector, as you can see behind me, a couple things. One, that most of the time, like these items weren't available, right? Like Kendrick Lamar's microphone from the Super Bowl or hat that he wore just like kind of vanished into thin air. And then if it popped up, it was always through some shady marketplace that was riddled with fraud, and you never knew what was real. And, digging in and seeing the stats, the FBI estimates that 90% of memorabilia is fraudulent. We realized this sector was growing like crazy. I thought I had this unfair advantage to play in the space, given my background as a collector and my background in kind of music, sports, and entertainment. We've launched a platform that has, an end-to-end solution for our partners, including, I know your favorite Philadelphia Eagles world champions, confetti from the Super Bowl to, we were on the other side of the Super Bowl with Kendrick on field with him, authenticating everything that he wore.
Did you sell snow or something?
Yeah, we sold snow for the Eagles. I mean, we really sell memories.
Eagles like snow. I love that.
So like we find things that are important to a very specific subset of people and figure out how to monetize them, right? Like snow is snow. You can go get it for free. You can probably get it, New York, you never know. It might be snowing later tonight, unfortunately. But it's in value. It's valuable when you authenticate it, when it's from the field of this moment. If you are a diehard fan of that team or of whatever that is, that went viral. We got way more. Again, that got us so much more attention than even revenue.
Let me ask you a question, Ski, because I think you are a role model to a lot of people, especially I would say young males, including my kids, my two boys. And so the question I have for you is, can you kind of demystify, and we talked a little bit about it earlier, the concept of networking? Like, what is networking? Because I think too many kids, especially in college and a little bit older young adults, think they've got to do something that they're not doing.
You nailed it, right? Like, it's wildly important and wildly misunderstood, I think, right? Like people, it's the most important thing that you can do. Like even networking and building with you guys has opened up so many doors for me personally. But it started off because of a natural relationship that was real. It wasn't the first thing that I said wasn't, hey, Mike, can you go introduce me to, market Salesforce and blah, 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 and do this? Like, it's probably like those things aren't going to there. It was like, oh, Mike, like, oh, we're hanging out and you're cool and we build and, doing these things. And then, I didn't even ask. I remember you were my first check when we were, when I was raising money for my first business, right? My first startup that I raised money for. And I wasn't even pitching you, honestly. I was just telling you my idea and I was so passionate about it. You were like, I'm going to invest and do that. And that's what really set me on kind of a path from entrepreneurship. But that was just something that came about, right? It's about building relationships, building a foundation, and then just, doing the right thing and providing benefits both ways. It's not just how you can, get stuff from people, but how you can help others. And by the way, it feels so much better when you're on the other side of that equation. I've learned
exactly.
There's nothing better than feeling, part of that. And I've been fortunate to do that kind of throughout my career. I mean, you introduced me as being first to play all of these artists, right? Like that's something that I'm super, proud of and gracious that I got the opportunity to do that. And it's gone, it's gotten me so far just opening those doors without always just even asking for things in return.
Yeah, no, I've seen it. I'll never forget South by Southwest. Yeah. Both Lady Gaga and Kendrick Lamar were there that year. I don't know if you remember, we were in that little VIP area. Yeah. They were so thankful that you had played their music before they were Kendrick and Gaga, right? And
Crazy.
I think you are someone who, you know, uses giving not as a transactional weapon. You just know that the more you give, the more you get.
Yeah. I think that's a big
100%.
thing. I also think that, you know, I categorize networking as telling your story to people you don't know and just starting that conversation. Because a lot of people, I think, kind of navel gaze and they look down and just kind of talk to the people that they know. And, you know, I've had this conversation with Harlan Cohen, you know, help me Harlan a lot, that you've got to kind of get out of your circle, right? And then I think you do what you said, which is give, right? Give to them. What can you offer? What can you bring value to? And then that relationship starts, right? Which is awesome.
What's the hardest thing about being a founder, do you think?
Ooh, I think it's everything. I mean, it's a huge life decision, right? Like it takes everything out of you, for better or worse, especially like when you're first starting, because you take everything so personal. So sometimes it's tough to separate that from your real world. You build up scar tissue really quick along the way, right? But you realize it's a lifestyle, right? Like it's not, and even me, right? Like you post all the glamorous stuff. It's like, all right, for every great thing you have, there's 100 other things that took to get there that are not is sexy and fun, right? So I think, you know, realizing and embracing how much it really just takes everything out of you, for better and worse, right?
How do you balance though, Ski? Because like we have a lot of people that are in the chat asking that if you're an entrepreneur and you have to give it your all, how do you take care of yourself?
Yeah, it's a great point. I think success starts with taking care of yourself. We've all made mistakes of going too hard, right? And finally, for the first time, like it's in vogue, it used to be like, never sleep, work
Exactly.
24/7. Sleep is the cousin of death. And now it's like, no, get your 8 hours rest. Or what does your whoop say? Like, what is
Yeah.
your sleep score? Eat that. So I think culture has realized the impact. And, you know, I've realized that you have to be in the right mindset, especially because I think entrepreneurs, what people don't oftentimes give, you know, credit for is the creativity that comes in that, right?
That's
It's
right.
no
Yeah.
different than it is an artist, right? Like you have to sit there and create and have to figure out how to do that. It's an entirely different part of work and part of your mind than like a monotonous task, right? Like if
Yeah.
you're just in charge of like, hey, get this done, you can do it really in any mindset, but certain things like write a song or like build a business or figure out a solution to this problem, that's an entirely creative mode of thinking. And
Wait,
you have to be your best.
Do you think I can now call myself an artist?
100%.
Okay.
You're
You've always been an
authors now
artist.
too. So
I've totally now like calling myself an artist.
Yeah, sandwich artist.
I do make good sandwiches, but I agree with you, Ski. It's a big part of like creation to me. Like even though I'm like all operations focused, there is the creative part of like, how do you get the solution? How do you motivate people, or how do you market to all these people? I mean, I always used to think you were just the creator. Maybe I'd created things too.
Yeah, no, you are. And, you know, what's interesting about Ski is you're in like very big rooms,
Big time.
right? So you may have recognized them from like University of Michigan football games, doing, you know, the Rams entertainment in the stadium. Obviously, big Minnesota fan, Vikings. How do you stay grounded? Because you always look happy, you're always nice, you always look in shape. You haven't had the ballooning weight like I have, right? I have like 2 kids living on the side of my body when I get stressed out. Like, how do you stay Ski as you do all this stuff?
Mike, I've seen you in the gym. Don't be humble. You go hard. You've got it. Like, okay,
try.
you're doing better than you're letting on.
Okay, I'll take my shirt off. Okay.
Please don't.
I'm not saying they go that far. I'm not saying go that far. I think, you know, it was a way I was brought up, right? Like, fortunately, you know, my parents and my mom always taught me that we were all the exact same, right? And it's true. It doesn't matter what your role is. You could be CEO or janitor. They're both, by the way, like needed roles. It doesn't make one better than the other. One obviously happens to get paid more in those things, but we all bleed the same way. And at the end of the day, none of those things matter. So like, you have to treat everybody the same way that you'd want to be treated, because we really are no different. Like, none of us are any better. And then I think the reason I try to smile is you have 2 ways to look at anything that happens to you. And it could be anything good or bad, right? You could there's some people that the greatest thing in the world that could happen to them, and there's going to find a way to say something negative.
Right.
There's those of us that could have literally the worst things happen to you in the world. And you try to find the positive of it. So you can't change what happens. And I've learned that more and more, right? And a lot of life is transparently luck, being right place, right time, and just things go right. Sometimes it does, sometimes it doesn't. It comes down sometimes to the flip of a coin. So you can either react negatively or positively to that. And I've just chosen personally to always be positive and believe that there's something else. And, I'd rather be happy than sad generally. So that's how I get through it.
So we're sitting in VaynerMedia, Hudson Yards, New York City. Everywhere you go in this office, there's like collectible stuff, right? Gary is a flipper. He's always believed in the flipping. You're a collector. Where should entrepreneurs be focused from a collection standpoint, from a collectible standpoint? Are there any markets because I remember like 4 years ago, Gary was like, Jordan rookie cards. And of course I didn't buy it, but there were like 500,000. They're now like 10 million. He then's like CryptoPunks. So like I bought all these CryptoPunks. Tell us something about collecting that no one knows and can put us on a path to making money.
I think like game used, stage used, like one-of-one memorabilia is undervalued in general. But if you look at subsectors, music and specifically hip hop is wildly undervalued. When you look at the value in culture and the fact that people are of age, and you look at some of these sales that have happened historically, like RZA's drum machine sold on Christie's. It's gotta be like 4 years ago now, maybe. What would you think it was that he made? Like not only like the Enter the 36 Chambers, but a lot of other Wu-Tang ones. Like to me, that's $1 million item. Sold for like 50 grand, right? And if you compare that to like some random sports jersey or card that's selling for $4 million, you just ask yourself the obvious. And that's what I've learned in this market. Even like when we look at, some game used jerseys, rookie jerseys of these athletes, they're selling for a fraction of what the actual card that's kind of art, not is, that's artificially scarce and manufactured is scarce. Like I think a lot of those things are going to flip over, but especially like music and as a subgenre, hip hop, wildly undervalued. And I think you'll see that change in the near future.
How about signed shoveling shit love story? Is there a market for those?
Absolutely. You already are seeing it. That's why you're here, right? Like come on, you guys are moving you guys are moving units. People want that. And it's going to go down.
Anyone who comes to the lunch or the New York Stock Exchange or the dinner with Gary, if you buy those, you get a book signed by Kass, me, and Gary. Let's just say ours isn't worth a lot, but maybe Gary's will be because there won't be that many signed shoveling shits by Gary. He wrote the foreword, and we tell his story, part of his story, his start out story before he was GaryVee. When are you writing your book, Skeet?
Yes, are there. I still feel like I've got a long way to go. I don't have anything.
You have your stories. Oh shit! Don't get me your stories, man. Oh man! If walls could talk.
Actually, if what are they? The converted vans could talk. Whatever it is that you travel in, that's what I.
Yeah, like I've just experienced a few of them, like ending up in a hotel room with Lady Gaga.
Yeah.
But
that
like
was crazy.
That's like greatest night of my life, but that's like every night for you, I feel like.
It's fun. I'm very fortunate. I'm very fortunate to have lived a really exciting life. And
thank you for. We have to run.
Thank you for being here.
But thank you for being here.
Thank you guys, of course. Anytime, anything, you guys. Seriously, these two are the best. I'm not just saying that because I'm here. I'm not just some random invite. This is truly family. So great, so gracious and thankful for everything.
Thank you.
I'm just so excited the world gets to hear these things that I've been able to hear exclusively for so long. So
awesome.
Well, thank you.
Thank you for being here, and we love you, and we'll see you soon.
All right, you guys take care.
See ya.
Okay, so that was fun.
Yeah, that was. Wait.
Are you having fun, Kass, or no?
I am really having fun.
You were a little nervous, and I said just have fun.
No, I wasn't nervous. I just wanted to get stuff done. Today. No,
you were a little nervous.
No, I was nervous at the United Way keynote.
Oh, that was nerve-wracking because they're like really.
No, but the reason I was nervous at that was because you made me memorize a 75-page PowerPoint.
I didn't make you, but you probably would have been better off knowing it than not knowing it.
Let's talk about Aaliyah.
Yeah. So
No, I have some things to
Is
say.
he
though.
here?
He's not coming in person. He's going to be remote. But I want you to show the world what you're wearing right now for Aaliyah.
Yeah, so
this is for Aaliyah.
I knew he was coming on. And
Just
he's-
stand up because they're not going to be able to
can't
see you.
stand up.
Oh.
So I wore my pizza shoes.
His pizza Nike
These
Dunks.
are my Janowski skateboarding pizza shoes. Aaliyah is, and before I introduce Aaliyah, go to shovelingshit.com/shovel, buy tons of packages. Thank you. He is this combination of sweet entrepreneur from Macedonia. Everyone from Macedonia, raise your hands. He is a celebrity there, but he took a path in the pizza business that I think is brilliant and that we write about in the book. There are a lot of ways to make money off pizza. You could open a pizza shop.
Great business.
You could raise a lot of money to like do crazy technology, or you could provide picks and shovels. And so Slice, and feel free to get Aaliyah up, whenever we want, provides software and boxes and delivery and point of sale systems, everything you need as a pizza place owner to compete with all the evil monsters, right? Pizza Hut and Domino's poison your system.
Oh my God, Mike, no.
But it empowers a small business.
Piper, no.
And oh my God. And in the process, Aaliyah will become a billionaire, which I love so much because he's going to plow it back into philanthropy and everything.
So let me also
let's get him
Wait,
here.
can
Why can't I see his cute
there
face?
There he is.
There he is. Finally,
Aaliyah
Aaliyah.
Sella.
Woo!
Okay, I also have to say this. So I've always known of Aaliyah, but I got to, at the notable dinner that was in New York, I got to sit next to Aaliyah.
I was jealous.
And I pummeled him with questions and deep thoughts for an hour and a half. And I was like, oh my God, I hope he doesn't go home and be like, who is that crazy one that was doing all that? Welcome to National Shovel Day, Aaliyah.
Thank you so much for having me. I'm so excited to be here. That dinner was awesome. It kind of flew by because of our conversation. I really enjoyed it.
I did too. And
I love every night I have dinner with her. It's the best
Oh
dinner
my
of my
God!
life.
Stop it! On
There we go.
screen. God, why do we have to do that? The
I
kids
do. I
are
love
gonna
having
watch.
dinner with her.
But Aaliyah, okay, let's talk.
Wait, before you go into your question, just between us, tell us how fucking big your company is. Because I think it's massive and no one knows about it.
I think I will start by saying I'm most proud of how successful we're able to make pizza shops on our platform. As a result, we will manage about $1.5 to $2 billion in pizza sales this year.
That is
Wow.
incredible. Like, that's so sexy. I can't. I can't. I'm crying.
He's so proud. I'm not telling. I just want to tell you this, Aaliyah, that everywhere we go, and I'm not. This is me. You know me. I shoot from the hip. I'm totally like I never shine the turd. I never do any of this. He tells everybody about you. He tells
I appreciate that. That means a lot.
everybody about Slice.
And unlike like Ski and some of these other guests we've had today, we're just starting our friendship.
That's right.
We are. Yep.
And I want to be much closer to you. Not just because you're very rich, you're going to be very rich, but I think that what you've done is amazing, and I want to go to Macedonia with you.
Yes, he does.
Oh, yeah.
He's been talking about this since you said it.
Yeah.
So
We've
all
got to
right.
go.
Let's go to the big question we keep asking everybody, which I think is really big because I want you. Well, first, your family was in the pizza business, okay? Let's talk about why you didn't do the exact same thing, the exact same formula, and how you got to Slice, because I think this is an incredible story.
Yep, I have a lot of family and friends, even today, that own small business pizza shops. I am from Macedonia, but I'm Albanian by background, and Albanians are, for whatever reason, culturally just really involved in the Italian restaurant / pizza restaurant space. Dating back to my grandfather in the 1970s had a pizza shop in Manhattan called Charlie's Pizza, and so it's obviously grew up in it. The second thing I would say is, while being very closely connected to the industry, you start realizing what these locations and the product, what it means to the neighborhood. So
Right.
these are neighborhood institutions around the country. I would say the third thing that really helped me sort of understand the opportunity is, for most owners, this is their way of supporting their family, sending their kids to college. This is their opportunity to control their own destiny. And many are immigrants, like my family.
Right.
And they moved to the country. Unfortunately, their degrees from other places are not transferable here, so they have to kind of start over. And I thought it was really important to launch a platform that can help these businesses be more successful. We want to increase the success rate of local shops.
That's so great.
I would say the other motivating factor was, prior to this company, I had a tech support business. This is how I became known as like the tech guy in the family. So everyone just calls me. And I franchised that model, and I scaled it to 124 franchisees.
Wow.
So that was my MBA in like franchising. And that's a very powerful model. So that is what Domino's is, what Papa John's is, and you can go down the list. And their success rate is incredibly high, much, much higher than what an independent pizza shop's success rate is. And much of it is attributable to the fact that they have economies of scale.
Right.
And so I realized that there was, finally sort of connecting all these dots, I realized that there's a business model missing, which I've called a reverse franchise for a long time. But I'm not using the term franchise to like suggest that everyone has to be the same. My point is, how do we create the same economies of scale for an independent that big chains really benefit from? And that's how the business started.
I love that. That was just so, you just thought so out of the box there, literally and physically. I love it.
Pun intended.
Pun intended, exactly. So we're going to ask you the question that we ask everybody.
Well, before I ask that question, how many,
I wanna
is
know
it
the
public
answer.
how many boxes you sell to pizza places a year?
It is now millions of boxes, but scaling very fast. So we have a team. We have a supplies business that is focused on packaging. So boxes, bags, pizza liners, the thing that sits below your pizza when you open the box. And that is active now in New York, New Jersey, Connecticut, Philadelphia, South Florida, Long Island, Boston, Chicago. But we're scaling it nationally. Our goal is to be national this year.
That's
And
amazing.
so I think we will be it is very likely that we will be the primary provider of packaging to all of the pizza shops on our platform by
That's
the end
amazing.
of the year.
And what's incredible isn't just for Slice, but you are giving bulk buying discounts to the small operator that they could never get without you. Right?
Yeah, that's the thing. It's we like to say independent, but not alone.
Yeah.
So how do we unlock economies of scale
Right.
for anyone who's independent? And so there shouldn't have to be a difference in economics for anyone who chooses to be authentic, to open up something really unique and special. And so, yeah, that's everything we do is all about providing economies of scale to the member
love it.
shops on the platform.
All right. So answer the question. What is the most important cheat code you have learned while being an entrepreneur?
Oh my, there's so many. I will say the one that is just like nothing else is possible without this is just pure hard work. Like hard work. That's been instilled in me from my grandfather, my parents, and my uncle, and so on and so forth. There is no like shortcut. So
Yeah, I agree with you there. People think of us as entrepreneurs who have all the glory, right? There's this glorification that like, oh, you can do everything. You don't have to work that hard, and you can come in and come out, and like you have your own schedule. It's so not true. So not true.
And for you to sign up 20,000 pizza joints, that was shoveling shit.
Yeah.
Like, how did that even happen? How did you get your first like 5?
Yeah. So on what Kass just said, I think too many people focus on what happens 10 or 15 years later, once you've earned the right to sort of be a little bit more, to have a little bit more freedom.
Right.
And so I think too many people start or try and start their business there. And that is the recipe for failure, in my opinion. The starting point really is shoveling shit. And for me, it started with adding a bunch of family shops on the platform. And then after that, I ran out of leads. So I had to go door to door. And I got kicked out of a bunch of pizza shops because this was 2010, 2011, and zero pizza shops felt like they needed online ordering at that time.
Right.
Now, the challenge is that I knew that they needed it, and I knew that that's where the world was going. And so the question was like, how do you reconcile those two? How do you help the owner
get there,
do something that they don't think they need?
Right.
And first thing I did was I actually got these like small cars, these Nissan Cube cars. They look like pizza boxes actually. And I put our branding on them, and I started parking them in front of different pizza shops so that we can create the perception that we were bigger than what we were, so that at least they would talk to us.
Yeah, marketing punching up. I love it.
Yeah. And then when I would go back to these shops, they would say, yeah, I've seen your cars all over. Meanwhile, it was, 2 cars just moving around the town.
So good.
How many did you sign up personally?
I would say the first like 50 to 100 shops.
So that was probably like 1,000 visits to get those?
It was basically the first year.
Yeah, that's crazy.
It was the first year. And even through that process, like we had to learn some things, like shops said yes to our value, but then they didn't want technology.
Right.
And so for the first 16 months, every online order that passed through our platform, I personally called in to each shop.
Wow.
So imagine you might place an order, and then that order would make it to my email. I would then call the pizzeria and say, I have an order from you.
That's such a good story.
That's such shoveling. I love it.
Yeah, for 16 months.
16 months.
I mean, my friends, my brother knew that if I had a special ringtone, if people heard that, we would be in the car, we're driving, there's music on. If that ringtone went on, music went off. I was in professional mode.
You were in between someone's pizza and the shop. That's a very dangerous place to be, at least for me.
Yeah, well, I
do
made
whatever
sure
it is to
order
get
was
pizza.
called.
All right, so Lear, tell this story. So I was just enthralled sitting next to you and just talking about everything. And one of the things that you shared with me, because I said, like, Lear, you look good. Like, you're in shape. Like, what do you do? Tell everybody your cheat code for how you balance your health in the pizza business.
Well, I eat a lot of pizza.
Right.
Now, I think I'm going to go on tour someday, on this tour of like educating the consumer that local pizza is actually not bad for you.
Yeah.
No, I'm not suggesting it's salad, but it is a high quality meal.
Yeah.
But that's a different story.
Yeah.
I eat a lot of pizza. I've made it a point. I set a goal to walk 6 miles a day. And so
and how do you fit that in? This is the incredible part.
it's just like any time that I have meetings where I know that there's not a presentation required, then I walk and I'm on my.
So you do it while so you basically, the way you balance this is you're doing work and walking.
That's right. And
That's
then
amazing.
if for any reason I can't get to it, then whether it's late in the evening or super early in the morning, I'm just out walking.
That's amazing.
My problem with walking in New York City, there's too many fucking pizza shops.
I knew you were
So
gonna
whatever
say that.
walking, and I don't get, Kass knows this, I don't get one slice.
He always gets two.
You can't walk in and get one slice.
He
You
always
got to
gets two.
try their two best.
Yeah. 2 slices and a Coke is the
Or
Well,
liquid death.
yeah.
So with that, we're going to have to run.
Thank you
The
so
only
much.
thing I will say is we're about to have one of my favorite entrepreneurs. You guys have to get together. We got to get liquid death in every pizza shop in the country.
Yeah, that
How do
would
we
be
get
awesome.
liquid death in 20,000 pizza shops?
That would be
You know-
Think about that.
We've already had some conversations with Peter Pham, who's the
Yep, we know Peter.
Yeah.
Shout
so
out to him.
we'll circle back there. We'll make it happen.
Well, we love you. We love
Thank
pizza. We appreciate the support. We're here if you need anything.
All right.
Appreciate you.
Thank you.
Thank you. I'll see you.
All right. See you soon.
Okay, so here we are. We're about to welcome the last guest.
This guy is.
And I've invited Gary back in. We kicked Gary out because we couldn't talk to anyone. And we're like, we got to get to cheat codes. And so I told him he's allowed back in. And without any further ado, let's just bring up, Mike Cesario, founder and CEO of Liquid Death. Wait, don't bring him. I got to change.
Hold on.
Wait.
He's
I
doing
can't
it
let
now.
him see that I'm not wearing Liquid Death hat. Okay.
By the way, 99.9% of the time he's wearing the Liquid Death.
Yeah, but
hat.
you can't see it from like the green room, the virtual green room.
I think he can see us, maybe.
Okay, so let's bring Mike up. Oh, we can. Uh-oh.
There he is. There he is.
There's Mike Cesario. Only thing I'll say, because he doesn't need any introductions, is, people ask, can anyone be an entrepreneur? And I always go back to Mike Cesario.
I don't
Because
know, meaning what?
Because he was an incredible creative director at this place, VaynerMedia, and then went on to do even better things. And so many people are like, oh, they don't know operations, they don't know all this stuff. What Mike has done in a category that happens to be the building block of life, water, is, I think, a miracle. We talk about it all the time.
Yeah.
But we know behind that miracle is hard work. So before we start, everyone thinks that Liquid Death is a water company. Here are all of the soda replacements, 10 calories, just a little sweet. Dr. Death is my favorite. This is sparkling water that's flavored. This is grapefruit.
That's one of my favorites.
That and lime are my favorite. And iced tea.
So if you were worried that you only had one super fan, that was Peter Pham, you also have Mike.
Mike knows it. Mike knows it. So Mike, welcome. I could talk about you forever. Maybe you want to introduce yourself.
Yeah, thanks, guys. Yeah, I'm Mike, and I'm the CEO and founder here at Liquid Death.
And so go back to the beginning. A lot of the people who are here are just starting out, or they're miserable at a desk job, and they're like, oh, I just got to find something. How did you jump into entrepreneurship? What got you started?
Probably that. I was miserable working for advertising agencies.
Oh, yeah.
Marketing agencies, because it doesn't matter how good your creative is. It matters how good is the director of marketing on the client side, and do they get it or not get it, and what's their. So when I started trying to present what I thought were really, smart or, powerful campaigns that would just never ever get bought by the client, and then they just want to go do the dumb thing that I knew that, I wasn't going to be happy just making crappy creative for a whole career and just collecting a paycheck. So I wanted to create my own brand where I could sort of control the marketing for it.
And so now we're, famously $1 billion brand. What I love about it is very rarely do individual categories get dominated by the same brand, right? So even like a PepsiCo will have different brands in different categories. Are you at all surprised at how big it's gotten so fast? We're talking about 5 years.
Yeah, for sure. And I remember when I was still working at an agency, and one of my bosses, I was mentioning this idea of like starting a canned water company. And I remember him saying like, yeah, you should totally do that. And, one day Pepsi will buy it for like $1 billion. And I was like, that would never happen. So I think it's, I never really thought that. And I think it's part of what I've learned about marketing, and hopefully other people see with Liquid Death, is that when you try to market to a lot of people, it doesn't work. But if you just think of marketing to like 5 people that That seems niche, but it turns out we're not all snowflakes. Like if 5 people think something's hilarious, there's probably 5 million that also think it's hilarious. And it's easier to wrap your head around that versus how do I be all things to all people?
I love that because, marketing is very hard. You got to make people feel something. So I appreciate that. That really.
It's also good, most people will not be Mike Cesario.
Right.
I mean, the greatest marketing mind I've ever seen up front by far. But how he markets is something that I know we've carried forward.
Big time.
Like thinking in headlines, do it for a group, like a smaller group. Right. And then if a few people like it, chances are more. Standing for something, right? Like there's a reason that we're in metal, aluminum cans. It's better for the environment, infinitely recyclable in a world where plastic is not recycled. So don't think that when you recycle the plastic, it's being recycled. Is there any other cheat codes from marketing that you think any business could learn from?
Yeah, I mean, I think the big cheat code with Liquid Death that I stole from Richard Branson is the whole Virgin model of find a really stale, boring category and then be the one really interesting or provocative thing within it. And then you can kind of take market share without having to spend a shitload of money to do it because you just naturally are going to garner that attention and differentiation.
It's so brilliant. I love that.
And, you've also had to figure out operations, right? Let's just say that this liquid don't get in the can itself.
Yeah.
Right? So you got to make the can, you got to create the product, you got to can it, you got to ship it to distributors and wholesalers and all this stuff that I think we've learned together, right? Like when we made the investment way back when, let's just say we were ignorantly blissful.
Yeah.
Like if we knew what we knew right now, there's a good chance that I would never touch this.
Yeah, but wait.
Let's just be honest.
We bet on the jockey.
Yeah, but don't say that like all the shit that he has had to go through. If we knew that when we did it, we'd be like, oh, what are you talking about? No way. But you somehow did it. So talk about like cheat codes on the operations side, because I think that's where you've overperformed. Even like marketing, we knew. So our investment memo was very simple. The fucking best marketer I've ever met in my life.
Yeah.
Like put money in. That's the investment. And what you've done is kind of outperformed on the marketing side, but just because of how brilliant it is, but you've way overperformed on the operations side. So we'd love to hear about just like cheat codes on that side of the shop.
Yeah. And I think that is probably like a lot of folks on LinkedIn or wherever are always talking about, the Liquid Death marketing. And yeah, I think that's part of the story, but a massive part, if not equally as massive, is the sales and operations and retail strategy and distributor strategy, because all the great marketing in the world, if you're just marketing to an empty shelf, you're not going to be around very long. So I think I knew early on, and I think a lot of founders will get really hung up on what percentage of the company do I own? And I don't want to give away anything. And I think I know what I'm really good at, and I'm willing to bring in really, really strong people in operations and in sales and, having the right way to vet who is the right person and not the right person, whether you have consultants or whoever. And even you got to pay those people sometimes too.
Right.
But make sure you pay the right people that do the stuff that you're not world class at. And like I said, I would much rather own 10% of a $5 billion company than 90% of a $500 company.
It's such a good cheat code because we say it all the time. We even said it in the book that you have to know what you don't know, right? And I think that's what you're saying is like, what you're really good at and you're going to stay in that lane. And then you're going to develop a leadership team around you. And whatever that takes, they're going to fill in all the gaps where you're not an expert in. So I definitely
think one of your superpowers, Mike, which I would encourage all entrepreneurs to tap into, is self-awareness. Like, you know exactly who you are as a business person, as a human, as a friend, and exactly who you're not. And I think that
That's
has helped you surround yourself from the beginning, which is why we got involved, Peter Pham, the science people. But your team right now is so epic, right? And you don't step on their toes. You empower them. You're constantly asking, like, hey, I work for you. What can I do to make your job better? Right. And so I don't know if you could talk about that at all, like the not only self-awareness, but what you've had to do to build the team around you, which everyone has to do.
Yeah, and it gets easier to build with the more success that the company has. You know, I've heard people talk about, well, if only we had this guy we had now 3 years ago. Well, that guy's not coming here 3 years ago, right?
Yeah,
Leave
exactly.
some big company and come for this super high flying risk of like a small company that even still people don't still fully see it, right? They still death.
Yeah.
I don't know, so you still have like people who are still even, nervous about the brand depending on where they come from. So I think it's, again, being able to, one, just offer, the company's at a stage where you can offer one, compelling compensation, because there's few people who are like, hey, I'm just going to risk it all, take a huge pay cut to come work for you. Like that, you're going to have a limited pool.
Right.
So like once you're able to actually realize like, hey, we can pay these people like a good amount of money, we can make it work financially. And then, yeah, when you bring the people in, empowering them, I imagine a lot of folks that work for me would probably say they like working here because I'm not one of those CEOs that's like micromanaging every tiny aspect of the business and not letting people do their jobs. I've heard plenty of stories of CEOs who can just be super control freaks, and that might work for them in that particular business and that particular strategy. I don't think it works in a company like ours where it's all about innovation and brand and creativity. That's like, we're trying to make the most valuable brand in the world, not the most valuable logistics company in the world,
Right.
So.
But the product speaks for itself. So you always knew that in order to do great marketing, you had to have a product behind it. And I think that that's the other part of it, is it doesn't work unless these are awesome, right?
Right.
And so the root beer, the Dr. Death, is just kind of more innovation that started from going from flat to sparkling, sparkling to flavored, flavored to teas, and now the soda replacement. And I think the insight that you had that people were drinking Liquid Death to wean themselves off of 160 calorie cans of soda,
Yeah.
I think forever changed the trajectory of the business. Such a huge opportunity and a huge thing for the health system.
I think what we saw with Liquid Death, I mean, any true lifestyle brand, which I think that term gets thrown around a little too lightly. Just because you feature a celebrity in your ad doesn't make you a lifestyle brand. But when you're a true lifestyle brand, people, they want to participate in the brand because you become like a badge or a thing. It's almost like fashion in a sense, right? As much as people would never want to
culturally relevant. Yeah.
Totally. And when it was just plain water in a can, only people who like to drink plain water could participate in the brand. And not everybody is a heavy bottled water drinker.
Right. Right.
Then once we release like our first flavors, it's like, oh, finally, now I can participate in the brand because I don't really like water, but I like flavors. Now I can participate in your brand. And then iced tea. Oh, I love your brand. I don't really like water, but I love iced tea. Now I can participate in the brand.
Right.
So
that's a good point.
Yeah.
I didn't think of it that way. Having different, SKUs and products where you can participate in the brand experience. I didn't think of that when I thought of Liquid Death. I just thought, wow, this is just making, water and sodas cool again, for all the people who don't drink.
It's also an example of like, we talk about this go gauge in the book, the cheat code of like how to greenlight a business. And we always say, pick a large market, right? And so what you did is you picked like the largest, which was such like, looking back, it's like, we could have like 1 to 5% of every category and have a killer business, right?
Yeah.
Right.
It's not winner takes all like a lot of these like tech businesses. And I think that was, whether you meant to do it or not, just a brilliant idea of like, oh, let's go after the $600 bazillion dollar market.
Yeah, it's funny. There was one investor recently I was talking with when we were raising around, and when I was explaining the brand to him, he was like, basically, you guys are like a store brand that's not a store. And I think that's right. And I think when you can get the brand part right, because typically store brand or private label is very boring by design. It's just like they just slap a Microsoft Word logo on the package, or whatever, and it's just purely competing on a price level at the retailer. But then look at Trader Joe's, for example. That is a cult brand. People love Trader Joe's. No matter if it's Trader Joe's wine or Trader Joe's butter or Trader Joe's cereal, it kind of, people think of Trader Joe's as a thing, and whatever it is they're selling, they know it's probably like decent, like good value price, good ingredients, and kind of quirky. As long as they fit within that realm, they can kind of make anything and people will be into it. And we're kind of doing the same thing. As long as it's kind of liquid and you can drink it and it's premium and it's funny and it's healthy, we can probably make it.
Right. That makes sense. I've heard, let me just say that there's been like 4 different people who've asked for Liquid Death kombucha. So that's
where'd that come from?
I don't know, but
kombucha lobby is out or something.
I love it.
Kombucha doesn't have alcohol in it, does it?
It's fermented.
I know, but does it have alcohol?
It has this tiny trace amount. I remember that was an issue with the category. People were like, "Oh, are kids allowed to buy this if there's a trace amount?"
Yeah, no, but I love that's what everyone's saying.
I love that Liquid Death is not alcohol. Yeah. For those of us who don't drink.
It makes holding a can cool, like cool, water. Like this is, I just remember I'd always be with you and be like, can I get a glass of water at a bar? And you're like, this is just sucks.
Well, it's usually plastic.
Yeah. Yeah. Or do they give us a bottle or they give us the plastic cup and they're like, this makes it way more, cool.
So before Gary comes in, tell some secrets about Gary. What was it like at VaynerMedia? What do you remember? Anything about VaynerMedia you want to talk about?
So
we'll keep this between us.
I was working in the LA office, and one of my early advertising mentors had just come on as Gary's first chief creative officer. His name was Steve Babcock. I mean, my first job in advertising, I worked with Steve. He was like the coolest guy ever, listened to Metallica and was super creative and a musician, and kind of helped me figure out my early approach to marketing. So when he was there, he kind of hit me up and said, "Hey, we need a creative director out in the LA office." And I had always been a fan of Gary's since I saw one of his talks when I lived in Tennessee. And this was, I think, after he wrote The Thank You Economy. Was that the name of the book?
It was one of them.
Yeah.
It was 2007 or 9.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, it was shortly after that. And my friend was like, "Oh, we're going to go see this guy, Gary Vaynerchuk, talk." I'm like, "Who's that?" He's like, "Oh, you haven't read that book?" I'm like, "No." So I went, and when I saw him speak, so much for me was like, "Oh, you kind of hate the marketing bullshit as much as I do." And it's rare that I hear that. And so I definitely jumped at the opportunity when I had the chance to work there.
Well, I love it. Well, you've built an incredible business. Feel free to hang out if you want. If you have to go, take off. But all I want to say is that we've done 100 investments, and a lot of them would never make sense on a piece of paper. There's so many reasons why they're not going to work out. And all of the entrepreneurs out there who are basically saying, "Oh, all the ideas are taken," or "there's nothing else left," right? Just look at Mike Cesario. He took the building block of fucking life, water, branded it, put it in a can, and created something that's fun and healthy, and let's all agree should not exist. Liquid Death should not exist. But what do we like in life? Things that shouldn't exist. We spend a lot of our time with entertainment, with different products that should never exist, and it's what makes life fun. So I never want to hear again. There are no other ideas left.
Exactly.
Don't call Mike because he's
Amen.
very busy, but look at him as inspiration.
Thank you
You've
for
inspired us. I know that.
That's for sure. Thank you for all that you do. We're psyched for you. Always here for you. Appreciate you coming on the show today.
Awesome. Thank you, guys. Yeah. Happy
Okay.
to be here.
Thank you.
Awesome.
So that's Mike Cesario. Man, I mean, can you believe that?
Honestly, I can't. And he seems so calm.
He is.
Yeah. I
And nice.
Yeah, no, and he is nice, and he
And
he
good
gets
looking.
it.
I want him to, I wonder his like, he's got to have like demons in the closet. We got to get those out
There's
of him.
nothing. There's no demons. All right.
And he's talented,
While
like
we're
musically and all that shit.
by the way, guys, we're
can hate
waiting.
the guy.
I'd like to bring in really
Perfect. Hopefully
see
he's
if
gone. Hopefully he can't hear
Mike,
this.
you got to stop talking. There's too much talking. Before we bring Gary in,
You talk about the packages. I'm going to talk
No.
about the bathroom. I got to
okay,
run.
I want to bring in Harlan Cohen. He's helped me, Harlan, if we could get him in for a minute. That would just be awesome. I don't know when Gary's going to come in here. So, Harlan, if we have to go fast, forgive me. But
Yeah,
whoever, there we go.
it's good to see you.
Nice
Congratulations.
to see you. I don't know how we get that package off of. Yeah, there we go. That's not. Yeah, there we go. We'll do a thank you. Harlan, my friend, how are you?
I'm great. Congratulations. This is so fun. You know, Mike, well, I know there's Mike, but the other Mike.
Yeah, Cesario.
Yeah. You know, I'm obsessed with rejection. It's one of my
Yeah.
things. Cass,
Yeah.
I love you and Mike because you're so great at overcoming rejection. Like you're
Yeah.
masters. And the thing that's so cool about Liquid Death is that like when I go to a concert
Yeah.
or something where, you know, people are oftentimes making lots of different choices, they have their Liquid Death and they feel good.
Yeah, they do. And they don't feel like shame that they're not drinking and not partaking in something.
Yeah.
I agree.
Like, they're not out of place. It's like the whole rejection thing of, you know,
Yeah.
you walk around and there's like, and then if it's an interesting flavor or there's something different about
Yep.
it, then that's something to talk about. And
It's
it
a
makes someone-
conversation piece, which,
Absolutely.
I don't know if everybody understands this guy helps, especially college kids, but I would argue you help everybody. And if you're not following Harlan, you should. And he's just an expert in everything. And he also says everything that I wish I could say to my kids, but I don't because I'm afraid that they're going to laugh at me. So tell me, because you're an entrepreneur, what's your cheat code? What's like one that you wanted to share that everyone could, use?
Well, I think there's something that came up in the conversation, but there's two. But the first one, when it comes to the networking piece, this idea that networking is a thing, and I
Yeah.
really think it comes down to wild curiosity.
Yeah.
You know,
said
when-
that in the chat. I love
Yeah,
that.
and I love it because I think it's this idea like if you're so wildly curious, your fear of judgment kind of disappears because you're just so overwhelmed with excitement and this thirst for knowledge. And I think so many people, especially early on, get tripped up because they're curious with conditions.
That's an interesting comment.
Yeah, and it's like to be an entrepreneur, you have to be so curious and you
Yeah.
have to get hit and you have to be curious why it hurts so much. And then you have to get up again and you have to be curious why you fell again.
Yeah.
And you have to just like have this, it's almost like it almost doesn't even make sense that you're so curious and you keep getting knocked around. So that's
love that.
that's a big thing. And then the rejections,
You
Is that-
tell everyone the story about Harlan.
Is that Gary Vee up there too?
We got Gary
Harlan
Vee.
called
Harlan,
me.
what's good?
Gary, I don't know if you remember, man, years ago, when I think you're probably in the boardroom, you gave me a call or something. And this was forever ago. This is before Crush It, man. And you were so hungry. Like you were like so wildly curious, and it matched. We were talking about Setcast, and because you wanted to know about colleges and college.
Yes, I remember
students.
this. I remember
And you were
this.
just, like, you were going so hard, man. You were like, I mean, it was just like I could feel it, and it was like early on when you were just putting stuff out there, and I wanted to help you more, but I loved it. It was like
Thank you,
I
brother.
remember that moment because I could feel your fire.
That's
I
very
used to
kind.
syndicate his stuff at UWire.
I know this. I know that your
He's,
backstory.
he's one of two people who I met when I was like in my teens who I'm still
I love
in
that.
contact with. And he's done incredible. I mean, Harlan has like millions of followers and he helps all of these really
Young adult-
parents, not just kids, but parents,
Parents and
adjusting
young
to college
adults.
life.
Yeah.
The naked roommate, never forget that. Thank you, Harlan.
Thanks for
It was
coming
great
on.
seeing you.
I'm so
Thanks for,
excited for you
thanks
guys.
for
Thank you
buying
for
a
the
dig
bulk
in.
purchase.
Yes, I appreciate you.
You are the
And
you're
also,
the best.
let me just say last thing, all parents should listen to him because he knows exactly how to operate, especially when
Yeah.
kids are in college. So everyone should.
Can we get Matt up here? Because Matt bought a lot.
Yes,
Also.
you should definitely do that.
Let's
Thanks,
get Matt
Harlan,
up
I'll
here.
see you soon,
Harlan.
brother. Great to see your
Love
face,
you.
brother. Harlan
Thanks,
doesn't
Harlan.
age.
He
Back
looks
to
the
back.
same.
Yeah, back
He's
to
the
the.
best.
He literally.
There
looks,
he is.
Uh-oh, there
shit.
he is.
So I just have one question. Do you guys want to be like Matt?
Yeah.
And if you do, invest like Matt. Buy.
There you go.
Go to shovelingshit.com/shovel. Thank you, Matt.
It was the greatest investment that now I get to be here with you guys. This
We've
is
never met,
unbelievable.
but I will never forget you.
Actually, my
you did
first
meet.
office
You did meet.
was at 10 DeBrocia Street.
Oh shit.
I had Sunshine Suites.
Oh
You
shit.
remember that? That is unbelievable.
Holy shit.
Matt, I remember that
Holy
because
shit.
we, picking up the story when we left,
my God.
when we left Buddy Media's conference room where we didn't pay rent, we still could not afford rent. But I noticed that Kass was getting more testy with us, and she wanted us to move the fuck out. And so we bartered a deal with a co-working space pre-WeWork called Sunshine Suites
Yeah.
at 10 DeBrosa Street, and we did their marketing in return for this like weird room they had that was like really not an office, but they were like, we're gonna trick them to think it's an office so we can get free marketing, but it was perfect for us. Mike Boyd lived there.
I
Mike
knew
Boyd
you.
slept on, and so Matt, it's great to
Right.
see you again, brother.
Well, and,
I love
as
this.
Harlan said, like seeing you guys hustle at that time, it was really inspiring and inspires me still today. So thank you.
You're welcome. Real quick, Trix on YouTube said, who texted me? That was me, Trix. I just sent that. I'm Gary Vaynerchuk. I just sent a text so that all these people are now joining the stream. If you just joined the stream in the last minute from the text, say just joined in the chat.
And
Go ahead,
thank you
Matt.
for joining us.
Yeah. No, thank you.
And Matt, I'm
So-
sorry to interrupt for 1 second, but all these people are joining, so I have to do this one part. If you're just joining, we're here for a very special day. We are selling Shoveling Shit, the greatest entrepreneurial book ever written by Mike and Kass Lazaro. And it is on pre-sale now. We have packages. We're going to break down these packages for everybody in a minute. But I'm here with Mike and Kass. You can see them right here. Matt's here. He's been supporting the book. They've been live for hours here in the conference room. We're flipping packages. We're selling books. But if you're just joining us, if you're an entrepreneur, I could not recommend more you picking up this book right now, shovelingshit.com/shovel to figure that out. Every purchase, even if you buy one book, comes with extra value that they put together. Please learn about it right now. If you're just joining, ask questions in the chat. I'll be looking at them to incorporate into what I say next while Kass and Mike speak to Matt. And if you're on my social watching right now, go to GaryVee.com/join. Get over here right now.
So all I have to say is something just happened which made me
Yes,
cry.
for new entrepreneurs. Go ahead.
Why? Are you really crying again?
Crystal just bought a lunch package.
No, you
Let's
did
go,
not. Crystal.
Crystal, you have supported us more than
So
anyone.
nice.
I literally have not, like, I can't believe how much
Hold on.
support.
Can we talk in the dig-in pack? There's 16 left of these.
No, she bought the lunch
I know she
package.
did, but I'm going somewhere else, Michael.
Okay.
20 books. If you buy
Thank
everybody
you.
who's watching, because there's a lot of new people right
Can
now.
we get Crystal also teed up?
Yes. Shoveling Shit. By the way, you can stay as long as you want.
Oh, I'm staying all night.
Good.
Yeah.
If you go to shovelingshit.com/shovel, you'll see there that there's a dig-in package where you get, if you buy 20 books, which is about $600, you get 30-minute Zoom with these two, and you get a 1-hour office session for 4 weeks. I'm going to say this nice and slow because I know I just sent most of the people that are in the chat. These two sold a company for $725 million after they sold golf.com. They've gone on to invest in things like Liquid Death and many other successful businesses. They're truly two of the only 6 people on earth that I would consider calling and talk about business, because everybody else is just not something of value to the conversation. The thought that they are selling for $600 a masterclass a 4-week 1-hour office hours and a 30-minute Zoom. The 1-hour office hours is a group thing,
Yes,
right? Not
yes.
one-on-one.
No,
But
it's
they
group.
do get a 30-minute.
Yes.
Like, I'm just going to be very transparent. This makes no sense to me. 30 minutes one-on-one with them is worth a lot more than $600. And that's the value you get for buying 20 books. 19 of which that you can give away as gifts, holiday gifts to people in your office. If you're a new entrepreneur, an old entrepreneur, you should read this book. It's the only book I actually wrote a forward to. I might have wrote a forward to someone else's book. It's hazy in my mind. I felt like I did it for somebody, but full disclosure, they wrote it. I didn't give a shit. Like, I really give a shit. I could not recommend more people going to shovelingshit.com right now /shovel and buying this dig-in package for $600. There's the New York City party, which is $1,200. There's the lunch package for $4,500. There's the one that all of you ballers should buy, which is the dinner with me and them for $9,000.
Which we will make it work for when everyone. So
but, yeah.
Strawberry Lemonade wants to know
Yeah.
he's from UK.
We'll make it work.
We'll make it work.
We'll do it before the end of the year.
You
which
have
gives
my
us
word.
I think we should do it before the end of the year so people don't think it's forever.
Yeah, plan in
But we
advance.
could do it in Q4 so we can make everybody work. I could tell you right now, I don't know why I said yes to this. Even though, listen, $9,000 is an extraordinary amount of money. But I can tell you right now, I do not understand this dig-in package. There's 16 of them left. Every one of them should be gone in the next 5 seconds. At $600, I highly recommend it. It makes no fucking sense. Anyway, keep going, Matt. Sorry.
I agree with Gary. No, I agree. That's why I did it.
Love
we wanted to price it
Brandon,
to
12.
move. And so, I mean, listen, Gary is someone who we've seen build his business, and this book is full of 50 cheat codes that we've picked up, that we've learned from Gary. And that dinner, I think, is going to be the best dinner of the year.
I agree.
Yeah.
And it's at Fly Fish Club, which is his private club.
It's going to be awesome.
And it's going to be at least a 10-hour dinner. He's agreed to 10 hours.
10 hours.
I'm here.
I mean, like, okay. Well,
Matty,
that'll
what's
set
up
it
with you these days, brother?
Yeah. So today I'm really working on something that's completely a passion of mine. Growing up, my father lost his vision, and so even today, about 90% of all websites are completely inaccessible for people with disabilities. So about 3 years ago, I started a company called Inclusive Web, called inclusiveweb.co, where we help brands of all sizes make sure that their websites and digital
love that, Matt.
applications, kiosks are all
Matt, do me a
accessible
favor. Email me at Gary@VaynerX. Let me see if I can help you get some of the big corporate clients.
Okay.
Gary@VaynerX, VaynerX, or VaynerMedia, or VFriends, or Wine Library.
Whatever you want.
Don't shake your head, Dustin. Those are real emails. Right, what do you want? I'm not bragging that I have 4 emails.
I love it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, thank you.
And so your title speaks to me every day. So
It's all about shoveling shit.
That's exactly right. That's exactly right. We're building it one client at a time.
One shovel at a time, right?
Exactly. It's so true. It's so true. Yeah, but that's our story, and we love helping brands of all sizes make
That's
sure
awesome.
that their sites are accessible for people.
That's awesome.
I love you, Scoob, Steve. All right, let's keep going. What
Okay.
else?
All right. Thank you, Matt. It was great
Thank
to see
you.
you. Thanks for hopping on.
Thanks, Matty.
Will do.
All right.
So let's break down the packages.
You want to break
because,
them down again?
How'd the show go?
Oh,
Great.
incredible.
Here's the good news.
Incredible.
I'll tell you live, because this is going to help everyone, what I was going to tell you afterwards, because I want you to know.
Please.
The coolest part of doing content like this is not how many you sell during the live. It's the clips from this.
It's the content.
It's the
Yeah,
content
of
from
course.
this. Got it?
Yeah.
That's Steven.
So when I watch these totals on the board, when you run $1,000 worth of ads against fans of my accounts,
Yeah.
against the dinner, they're all going to be sold.
Yeah.
So like right now, this is the middle of the day. There's only so much that can happen.
Right.
So Mike, because I know how competitive, Cass, you're much
No,
more competitive
hello,
than
I
Mike,
was
but Mike's
gonna say,
fucking competitive.
he-
Mike's very competitive. You're just a psycho.
Takes
Thank
one to,
you.
Takes
Thank
one to
you.
know
Well,
one.
why do you think I like you so
Correct.
much?
Correct.
Anyway, I just know you're looking at this. I want you to, and by the way, this is for everyone. What's amazing about the world we live in today, especially with AI coming, which is going to make a lot of this more efficient, you do these, all of you should be doing, when I tell you to do live social shopping on Whatnot or TikTok Shop, you're winning 3 times. You're doing the event, but unlike this being QVC and we leave and no more books are sold, the fact that we can post-produce and then do best practices in social. So the clips with Mike against people that are fans of Liquid Death or target audience, like, you know, like it's huge. So no, I don't want you to stress, because I already saw it in your face that we've only got so many more minutes. Like this, you've got in fact, what I really want to do is just make content right now that's clippable.
Yeah.
Like, every entrepreneur in Poland should buy this book. Every entrepreneur that has a mother should buy this book. If you like life, you should buy. Like, that's almost what it's almost a production day.
I love it. I agree with you.
What's Jeff doing in the back? Has he not been brought up yet?
Jeff, let's
Jeff,
get him
up here. I can't see him in the back there anymore.
There he is. He bought a dig-in package.
Oh man,
Jeff went big.
Well, did he go big?
New York Stock Exchange
that
party.
New York Stock Exchange.
You guys have not had, I've had the luxury through Vive to get to know Jeff. What a remarkably awesome dude. I gave him some good advice in Miami that I think is working out nicely. So I'm feeling,
we
I'm
love
feeling pretty,
Jeff,
right?
I have an update for you.
Tell me, I'm pumped.
Well, yes. Well, first of all, this is amazing. This is exactly why I do things like Vive and do things like buying in. I actually met you guys at VCon in LA through Vive. When I was down there when you guys were on stage. But
that was awesome.
$1,200 to be able to have access, as you said, for investors and people that
Makes
are
no
in
sense.
biz, and I mean things like that. That's a ridiculous weight, that is weighted in the favor of people like me. So
Thank you.
Incredibly honored to be able to have access to that. But update. I through Vive learned a lot. Really had to find myself with clarity and whatnot. Got on with Gary. Well, one of the videos with Gary in Miami, which I think you're talking about. He shot a video between directly to my son, who's an aviation student, and on his way to being a pilot. And the morning of that, I said that I was going to meet with Gary. My son was like, "Oh my God, no way! You got to be kidding me!" And he's like, "Well, tell him I'm going to be his pilot someday. Tell him I'm going to fly him around the world someday." I'm like,
I love it.
All right, buddy. Yeah, I'll do that. So, sure enough, later that night we're together, and I'm like, "Hey, would you mind shooting a little video for my son?" And his name's Grayson or whatever. I mean, he talks about that video.
It's awesome, man.
I mean,
that's awesome, man. Thank you.
Yeah.
I love it.
Gary gives. He gives more. I mean, we've seen it 20 years. Like give. It's incredible.
You good, Jeff?
I'm good. Yeah.
I'm looking forward to seeing you at the stock exchange party.
Coming along. Yes, for sure. Me as well.
Kass, what is the stock exchange party package?
Okay, I'm going to read this thing. I know it by heart by now. But basically, you get everything that was in the dig-in package, everything that you get if you just buy one book, and you get a ticket to come to the New York Stock Exchange, where we are doing a celebration of entrepreneurs. So it's going to be a room full of New York's most successful entrepreneurs and top VCs. So this is the who's who, and you want to be in this room.
It's funny. People literally, you probably get these same emails. People are like, "I'll pay you this to get me a meeting with this VC."
Yeah.
You never do it. This is like, you get all the books, you get all the stuff, and you're in the room and you can do it yourself.
Correct.
I know.
This is the opportunity. This is the
And
one.
people are going to be happy because we made these investors a boatload of cash.
Yeah.
It's nice.
So they'll feel good.
They're happy with you.
They'll feel good.
They'll feel really good.
Jeff, great to see you, brother.
Thank you, Jeff.
Thank
Yes,
you.
you guys too.
Appreciate
Can't wait.
you.
See you soon.
So is there any way to get Crystal?
Can
or
I ask
Whitney?
a question?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, while you get Crystal or Whitney, if you can, let me ask you this question. I'm going to do a series of questions. Number one, on this book, for a beginner entrepreneur, and again, you guys are natural entrepreneurs, I am as well. Some of the beginners are half entrepreneurs, not really, half not really. What are they going to get out of this book if they're a wannabe or aspiring entrepreneur?
So I love that because we go through this thing called the Go Gauge, Gary, and it basically tells you how to greenlight an idea. Everybody has lots of ideas. So if you're sitting there and going, gosh, I don't want to sit at a desk and work. I want to do something on my own, and you have an idea. The next question is it the right idea? Is it the right business model? Does it make sense on paper? Do the unit economics make sense? So we have something called a Go Gauge that'll take you through 5 very simple questions that everyone, look, we didn't go to business school, but it's very easy. And then after that.
Well, I think the only reason you guys are good entrepreneurs is you didn't go to business school.
Well, I would agree with that.
We don't hire people who went to business school.
So,
and by the way, there's some good business school people out there. But honestly, like if you're like, business school is to get great jobs in good companies to then one day maybe do entrepreneurship.
The biggest ones produce, like Harvard, others, they produce very entitled people.
Oh, here's Mike's theory. Here we go.
We just haven't had good luck. We haven't. Maybe some
I've
people
been
have.
crushed on
Yeah.
my investment portfolio is so much more littered. Early stage is
Yeah.
so much better when it's not
I agree with
fancy
that.
I
schmancy
want
schools.
Oswego.
We
I want
got
Oswego in Arizona State.
Oswego. We got the literal best partner we ever could have gotten was
Yeah.
Jeff Ragavin.
Like
Jeff's
grit.
the best.
Period.
Grit and
Period.
tenacity.
Pencil
Best.
down.
100%.
And another great, generous human.
Okay,
like
keep
you.
going
Best.
with Gary's
Okay,
question.
so the other
book.
thing is, how do you pick a co-founder? So that's the other thing. When you're starting to think, I think of everybody, right, you roll the dice. So here's the thing. I actually think you got to make sure that you don't have overlapping skill sets, because I think we get this a lot. You know, Miles, our kid,
Yep.
started a company, and he picked someone that doesn't have the same skill set as him.
That's right.
Smart. Very smart.
So that person's clearly ugly and dumb.
No, not at all.
Killer
His name
AI
is
engineer.
killer AI engineer named Max Parsons. And they make a great
Max.
They make a great team. Everyone should go check out, by the way, Addy.date.
ADDIE.date.
Yes.
It's the old matchmaker, gets you off the apps.
No more swiping.
Talk to Addie, she'll set you up.
Yep.
I like that.
Yeah.
It's cool.
So it's a great package. And
Don't
honestly,
tell Kass I signed up.
it's a great package because, like you said, you're going to be in the room and you can do the networking yourself. You can make.
Are people on these single book sales, does that mean they're buying it from the site?
Yes.
Yeah.
Not
Okay,
Amazon.
Right. So a lot of people actually that were watching probably bought on
100%.
Amazon. And so what are they doing?
So all they have to
They
do
get
is
the
make
benefits.
they get the same benefits. They just have to make sure they send us their information, and then
Where do they do that?
shovelingshit.com.
In unison. I love you too.
There you go.
Do you know how much it costs us to buy shovelingshit.com?
Shovelingshit.com. It was not taken.
It was $9.
There's $9. Yeah.
Sid, are you watching all these cockamanian sites that make you buy that nobody should fucking... I did a site the other day that didn't have the right vowel. Like, we dropped the vowel and somebody had the fucking URL. How the fuck is shovelingshit.com available?
It was available.
Trust me, we couldn't believe it.
All right, everybody on YouTube, please say hi and tell me where you're from right now. All right, what else?
So we have Anthony just bought another dig in. We're now moving. So I'd love to get Crystal, if she's still here, live. Crystal's an awesome entrepreneur, and Whitney.
Yeah, Whitney, thank you for that dig in package. That was huge.
In a nutshell, the book is all the mistakes we made and what we learned from them.
Anthony, my man. Anthony's got a new book out.
Oh, we got to
Anthony
get him
M.
up next.
From V Friends.
Let's get
There's
Crystal
Crystal.
first. Crystal,
Oh,
woo
you're the
woo.
best. Crystal, you did not have to
So
do
tell
that.
your story. This is a
Crystal,
good story.
you had to do it. You had to do it.
We love Crystal so much.
Okay, tell us your story.
Don't be shy.
Can you hear us?
I had to do it.
It was amazing. All right, tell us your story though. And we
Yeah,
want to hear what
can you hear
you
me?
do. Yeah.
Okay. Yes, I'm good.
Can you?
She's on delay.
You're on a delay, aren't you?
Mm-hmm.
Are you on a delay?
There's a little delay, yeah.
I
So
hate.
you just tell your story real quick.
Okay,
For
so
everyone.
in 2011, we bought my in-laws restaurant. We've grown it from 400,000 to almost 1.4 million.
Nicely done.
We opened a second location. We're growing it. We keep growing it. We've never been able to find mentors. So when I met you at South by, I just knew that I had to get to know you guys, and help you achieve your goals, and build a friendship from there.
So sweet.
And what's
So-
awesome is we've she bought one book. We've probably met
And then more
4 or
books.
5 times
Yeah.
in the office hours. She is not doing shipping of frozen pizzas. We identified all these opportunities for the business. We want to get into the pizza business. We're now talking to her about doing stuff together. And what you realize, the 5 million businesses that were started last year, they don't look like Buddy Media. There's so many opportunities
they're
to
not
be an
venture
entrepreneur
backed,
through
yeah.
acquisition or partnership. And Crystal, as of today, her and her husband, who's more of operations,
Yes, he's operational.
are starting to build an empire. 1 restaurant, 2 restaurants, new revenue streams. They're not marketing lunch and pizza parties like they should be.
We should be.
And it's going to happen.
Why we need you guys. We need to talk.
We're
We don't
in.
know, and we
and
don't
great
know
people
way too much.
because she doesn't live in New York. She's lives in the Midwest.
What are you talking about? New York has the best people in the world.
She's so nice. So
No, I'm
much
sure
nicer. than
she looks very nice, but
She's
New
so
York,
much nicer than us.
I'm the nicest. I don't give a fuck.
You are the
But
nicest.
Crystal, you're amazing.
Thank you.
I see someone, Jay Sean said, can we share a couple of mistakes from the book that you learned?
Oh man. That's mine. I make all the mistakes. The biggest mistake is there's a company no one knows about that I started with an artist friend that burned through $12 million, a huge mistake. We didn't think through the go gauge, didn't have the market. We were ill-equipped to be founders together. So this
By
is
the way,
not
it
just
wasn't
like
me.
this
I
is
was
not
not
just
the
shits and
co-founder. I
giggles.
just want to make sure I
So
said
this
that.
book is not just about like look at us. It is about how to keep your marriage going, how to keep relationships going, how to deal with failure. How do you raise kids when you're not around? There were 5 years I didn't see the kids basically.
Did you tell everybody about your concept for Halloween parties
Oh yeah. Well, that
in the
was
book?
We did in the book. We haven't here.
Yeah, it's a big thing. I'm a big believer in traditions, right? And so I would make everyone dress up. And there was even our leadership team hated it. And I basically said I'd fire you the next day if they didn't dress up. And then our head of tech, Patrick Stokes, who you know, Gary, came in a long green luge, very tight outfit from head to toe that was
little
zipped up
too
over his
revealing.
head. And wore that the entire day through a board meeting and then walked outside while we walked to lunch. So Patrick Stokes, yeah, you're my hero for
And
that.
he bought a package. Love Patrick.
What about your Halloween party where you'd had to be 2 people and you had to mix them together? So
Well, that's a mashup.
Oh, do we have
A
those
mashup.
pictures?
Oh,
Oh shit. Do we have
those
those
were like,
pictures?
like for example, you had to come to their party, but you had to be 2 people in one. So for example, the Incredible Hulk Hogan.
Yeah.
So you're half the Hulk, half Hulk Hogan. Or the popular one, Babe Ruth Ginsburg. Like Bader Ginsburg. So like
Yes.
what were you one year?
I was Bloody Mary Poppins.
Bloody Mary Poppins. What were you, Les?
I was what was I?
You were
Pamela
Pamela Anderson,
Anderson
Cooper, but he
Cooper.
had this weird hair down there. It just didn't make
Yeah, it
any
didn't
sense.
make sense.
And then I was SpongeBob Ross,
Yeah,
which is so stupid.
those mashup
So
parties
good.
are the best.
So good.
That everybody will think about this.
Eric Steele, thank you so much. Scotty Rude, thank you so much. Everybody, as we're wrapping up here, let us know if you're picking up a package, if you just got a package, if you waited to the end to buy your package, let us know.
Yeah, we've got
And we'll
what?
let them go for a few more hours until they're all gone. And I just have to say thank you, Gary. I mean, you
course.
opened up not only the space, but there's an incredible team here.
There's a huge team here that's just
Dustin
amazing.
has been sitting here doing all these graphics, and the entire team. Thank you all.
Dustin's been working tirelessly. He's 40 and he looks 26, but this morning he looked 25.
Dustin's
and now he
everywhere.
looks 26.
Like
It's amazing.
Dustin's, we had dinner at Gary's apartment. Dustin's there, and
He's
then
family, man. He's family.
And Claire and Steven, thank you on our team.
And Kristen is on vacation. Someone on our team right now is on vacation with their family doing this for us.
I assume, yeah. So this gets archived on their channel, right? This ends and it's just sitting there. Send this link to everybody you know who wants to be or is an entrepreneur. I could not recommend this book more. I could not recommend this book more. These are truly the iconic husband and wife entrepreneurial duo of the last 2 decades. And there's no one I'd rather you learn from, me included, than them. And I hope you read the book.
Thank you, Gary. Thank you, everybody,
We
for
love
having
you.
us. We love you.
Happy National Shovel Day. See you next year.
That's right.
Wait, Whitney's here. Wait, Whitney's
Whitney.
back room.
Whoa, whoa, whoa,
You can't
whoa,
leave
whoa,
without
whoa,
saying
whoa,
hi to
whoa,
her.
wait,
Whitney. Whitney, come on.
And anyone, we will keep
Thank
this
you.
going.
Yeah, Mike wants to stay another hour, just so you guys know.
I
Don't leave.
Whitney, thank
We'll
you
keep
so
this going
much.
as long as people still buy
Wait a
packages.
second.
Let's talk.
Wait, Whitney,
Mike will stay forever if you buy
thank you.
packages.
Why did you buy the
Yeah,
package?
let's-
Thank you.
Tell us your story.
Oh my gosh. Okay, so I'm pulled over because I'm in the car, and I basically bought your package because I follow Gary, and I kind of listen to everything he says as much as possible.
Makes sense.
So do we.
So I was like, you know what? I'm not going to be a baller and go for the 9,000, but I got to get the value for the 600 and just like have a chance to talk to you guys because I'm an entrepreneur. My husband's an entrepreneur, and I've had an ad agency for a decade, and I feel like a half dinosaur, half chick. You know, I'm somewhere in between. So
I get it. Well, we appreciate you. Thank you so
We have
much.
so much in common. That's how I feel also. How can we, wait, don't go anywhere. If we could snap our fingers and deliver anything
to help you,
one thing, what would it be?
a vision for the future, just a realistic, attainable vision for the future. I mean,
I feel like you have that.
I feel like-
it's like deep in there.
Yeah.
It's like in your gut.
But
maybe you need it to come out and you need to tease it out.
Yeah, I was going to say maybe we need to like
That one's easy.
poke around.
So
and,
that we'll
like-
do. We'll do a call about that. Like
Yeah.
that's not a problem. But like there's got to be something that's transformative.
yeah, I think I'm in this relationship with a legacy client, and I'm trying to figure out my way around it without without leaving the revenue on the table, but also being able to kind of break free from that relationship because it is, it's month to month.
Yeah,
And
we can. I'm sure.
What percentage of revenue is that client?
Oh gosh, probably around 60%.
Oh, so you don't need help with that client. You need help finding new clients.
Yeah.
Right, exactly. And
Wow. Okay. So tell us what the agency does. Like, what's your superpower?
my superpower is really seeing blockages for local service-based businesses. I'm in New Orleans, and I've had this ad agency for a decade, and I came from broadcast media. So I have almost 20 years of experience. I've scaled this financial firm from just Louisiana-based 2 market locations to the Gulf Coast, and now we're in 10 markets. And he actually sold the company 2 years ago or 3 years ago to a national firm. And it's just like I haven't been able to like break through with a confident offer to really build this scalable agency that I know is possible because I've been afraid to lose the revenue and step on the toes of the client. So it's just been this weird space.
So let's follow up. Michael at Kass and Mike. Kass, I think at Kass
It's
and Mike.
Mike at Kass and Mike and Kass at.
Oh, Mike. Sorry, I had to give up Michael when I went Kass and Mike. I got the end Mike. I'm somehow like in the end of it. And let's dig in.
I actually really think we can help you because
Kass can for sure.
I think I have some ideas already. So can you definitely email us and then we can set up a call because I think both of us are going to have some ideas to help.
Okay, sounds great. Yes, I'll definitely email you.
Awesome. And then I appreciate you.
Wait,
Thanks.
there's one more big one who bought.
Okay, we'll do it. Thank you
Dustin,
so much,
do you have
Whitney.
to go right now?
Thank
Are
you.
you
Thank
sure?
you.
Thanks, Whitney. Are you
Thank you
sure?
so much.
Be honest. Okay,
Bye.
so
we'd like to bring on.
we got to get in touch with Brian Clements. He just bought a big package.
Which one did he buy?
Big.
What did he buy?
I can't tell everyone because he may not want everyone to know.
The dig in.
He brought the dig in, which is, I
Nice.
told you, the one that we're going to sell the most of.
You're right, and you're right. I don't know if we can get him on, but
So let's wait for.
and wait. I just want to make sure, Dustin. Are you serious? Yeah. You're fine. Okay, so this is like cake and walk in the park. He never leaves. Got it. Okay.
Let's see if we can get Dustin. Because
Dustin.
I feel like
You
there's
mean
things.
Dustin on, or did you mean
Brian Clements. Dustin, can we help you with anything? Do you want to hop on? What people don't realize is that Dustin is Dustin looks like he's about 25.
Wait,
He's been here for 7 years, and he's such a kick-ass utility player.
Yeah, he does a lot.
Like literally, it's like, oh, who knows? Oh, Dustin knows. Like how he got these graphics up here. I think we could have gotten on the moon easier.
Honestly, I had so many graphics there for him. I had 44 different frames. Yeah.
So let's see if we could get Brian.
Okay, so in the meantime, what I really wanted to know from you.
From me or Dustin?
No, from you. Is
why don't you ask me? Why don't you ask Dustin every now and then?
Okay. What I really wanted to know is, do you really think that when you went onto the New York Stock Exchange, that's what spurred you to be a capitalist or an entrepreneur?
No, not a capitalist. I was always a capitalist. And I know that because it would snow and I'd grab a shovel. True story.
By the way, there's a person here that just from Bisexual Barista that said Dustin is a goat.
Yeah.
That's true.
I would grab a shovel when it snowed and I'd shovel snow. And it was $25 for the driveway, but $10 for the walkway. You make money on the walkway because the driveway took an hour, but the walkway was like 10 minutes. The problem is you can't market yourself as a walkway only shoveler because people want to like drive their car out of their driveway. I think that's what got me because I remember the first time someone handed me $25. I was probably like 11. I was like, oh, fucking rich. Like, there are two ways to get rich. And there are only two ways. Make a fuck ton of money or want nothing.
Right. Good one.
Okay. Now, at that time, I wanted very little, like, you know, Charleston Chew, which was my favorite candy bar, Big League Chew. I'm starting to see, like, you know, the gum. Steven knows what I'm talking about. And I felt like I was like a multimillionaire. And so that feeling of like, that feeling of like putting in work and then getting paid for the work is such a good feeling.
Also, didn't you feel independence?
Yeah, like that feeling. I still today, like whenever we get like a check from an investment or get paid, like
you're giddy. It's weird.
I love
just
it.
Giddy. You know. Okay. So do you want to?
I don't know why. Like I like making money.
Know what
I'm a capitalist.
Do you want to know the first thing I did?
No. This is about me.
No. The first thing I did was we were in third grade. I was with my friend Barkley Smith, and we just talked about this. And we started a library, and I made people. We brought in books from our home. And I used to steal all my older siblings' books. And then we'd make them pay money, coins. Back then, for everyone out there now, there's actually like coins. And pay money to take the book out of the little library. Okay, then I got in trouble for that. I wasn't supposed to be doing that. And my second entrepreneurial thing was barrettes. I made barrettes with ribbon. And I cleared like $200 in school every Christmas doing that.
Was that the only time you got in trouble
at school
for being an entrepreneur?
The only time I got in trouble for being an entrepreneur? No, I got in trouble for having a big mouth.
Really?
Yeah, I did. I followed the rules, but if someone wasn't fair, I was a little bit of a Judge Judy, and I didn't like when teachers weren't fair.
I got in trouble a lot, but it mainly had to do with like smoking weed.
At school, you smoked weed? No.
Yeah.
At college?
No.
In high school? No way.
Do we have to get into this?
No way. Nancy Zirkin, get on and tell us if he actually did that. I don't think so.
Okay.
All right.
Right. I don't
so, by the way, wait. There have been a lot of buddies on this. So those are former Buddy Media employees. And I just wanted to give a shout out to two that I saw, which was David Honig and Kelly Balacci. Love you guys. Buddies for life. Appreciate you both. You both just came to the Cycle for Survival event. We didn't even talk about that cheat code. Can we just say that a little bit?
Yeah.
That one of the greatest ways that we ever bonded people together at our company was getting behind a cause. and doing something that's bigger than all of us. And so we got behind Cycle for Survival, which is this unbelievable movement that raises money. 100% goes to funding all the research, clinical research and trials for rare cancers. And our company was the first corporate team. So Buddy Media started all the different companies. How many, what do corporate teams now represent? Like
60%.
60%. So they've raised in the last, I don't know, it's 15 years. I think they've raised over $400 million, and every single cent goes to rare cancer research. So thank you, Kelly and David, for showing up for that. And it was the best thing in the world to just walk down that staircase and see both of your smiling faces as well as the rest of the buddies.
I forgot about one thing.
Okay, and then we're done. Okay.
This is the last thing.
Last thing.
So packages aren't up forever. shovelingshit.com/shovel to check them out. This is a jacket I got from Gary for being a gift goat holder. Love the jacket. It is a little worn, but not crazy. I would love to give this to the next person who buys a party pack. The New York Stock Exchange. There's one more person. And we have to look at it, Claire, right?
Right before you said that, someone bought Gary's dinner.
Ooh.
Is it strawberry lemonade?
Yeah.
Who's strawberry lemonade? Can we get them live? Or does Mike have to go? I saw Mike come in. Are we good with time?
Dustin, are we okay?
Try not to take advantage of the Vayner people.
The people
We're
that
just
we don't
sitting
pay.
in their office.
By the
Everyone
way,
else is
the
gone.
people that we don't pay on payroll. We're trying not to.
Okay, so
Mike,
the next.
Are you good? You're good. Mike's
okay,
good.
Mike's
too.
good. The next person who buys the New York Stock Exchange, 'cause I want to see someone wear this, it will be signed by Gary. And me and Kass if you want, but
You don't want our signatures on
Now, I'm going to put it on.
that. It's pretty cool.
I'm a size large. It fits. It says V Friends. It's one of 555. I have 4 of them because I have 4 gift goats. Don't ask me why. I spent, I think, our kids' education fund on gift goats.
Better not have. Viv's going to Northwestern.
And I
Go
just
Cats.
swept the floor of V Friends. So we're huge V Friends collectors. Please,
We're a little long in the V.
for any
Friends.
money that you have left that doesn't go into books, V Friends. It's the least you could do because you came here because of Gary. So you didn't come here because of us. And so if anyone buys a New York Stock Exchange package, this will be signed. You got to tell us where you want it signed because I think you'll still want to wear it.
Maybe on the back. I don't know.
And then I really want to talk to Strawberry Lemonade.
I know.
I mean, a boy can dream, but I really, really, really. Is there any way, Strawberry, or are you a non-events person, meaning anonymous? It says Strawberry Lemonade Events. Are you an AI bot?
Also,
you can share with us. We love AI bots. That's all we're doing these days. But thank you. I mean, more than anything, like, thank you. We are, of course, a Hangout Hawk. They're literally, I probably met 3 Hangout Hawks.
so tell me what a Hangout Hawk is.
So Kass isn't in like the nitty gritty.
Sorry.
But Hangout Hawks was one of the most, like the premier NFTs.
Oh, the NFT.
An access
Okay,
NFT
okay.
from Be Friends.
Yeah.
We,
Strawberry Lemonade. You don't want to get
we're
on?
more gift goaters. I don't know why.
You-
Why
you
did we
don't-
buy so many gift goats and not a Hangout
There's a
Hawk?
we there that shouldn't be a we.
Oh,
Why
yeah.
did
I didn't tell Kass I did any of this.
That also, by the
forgot
way,
about
if I can also give a shout out to the other thing that Mike
That's what I
bought.
like about crypto.
Wait,
She doesn't see that.
Mike also bought a golf franchise. So we are the official owners of the New York Bluebirds. And I just wanted to give them a shout out. Mike's going to change his hat. Our general manager is our son, Cole. And then we have
Is
a
it
head.
Cyan Downs or Cyan? Cyan, I'm thinking.
It could be Sean because
Or
it
Sean.
could be Irish.
I will never forget that name.
So in any event,
And I can't wait for the
go-
dinner. We'll
go
schedule. I
New
know you're in
York-
the UK. We'll schedule it around you.
Go New York Bluebirds. I'm still talking about the Bluebirds here.
Yeah, I'm talking about the packages.
Okay. Well, the Bluebirds.
I'll sell the Bluebirds. Anyone want the Bluebirds? What, $50?
That's not funny. By the way, Abe Candelaria is
Yeah, hopefully
our
Abe's not
head.
looking.
of player relations and all commercial sponsorships. I just want to give another shout out to the Bluebirds because we are the only golf team that's a professional / amateur team in New York City. Actually, the state of New York.
Okay, so I guess no one wants this.
No one wants the jacket.
The jacket. I'm looking. I mean, thank you, John Reedy, Michelle Brieri, Doug Kean. I mean, Doug went pretty big also. I see a dig in.
Wait.
Oh, man.
There we go.
Man.
Okay, so tell us, is it Sean? It is?
Don't worry. Everybody gets it wrong as well, but it's Shan. But
Shan.
I take it all. Sean.
You're
Bob,
Irish, right?
I am Scottish.
You're Scottish.
But we're all friends here.
I love Scottish
we
people.
We love Scotland.
I can't even tell you. Thank you so much. That was so lovely of you.
Yeah, it was. It's a bit whimsical. My husband is in bed sleeping right now. We'll deal with that tomorrow. I
have him call me, and
we'll talk.
Actually, have him call Kass. Kass is so much better.
So tell us what do you do, and how come why did you buy the package?
So I am a long-term fan, long-term lurker, and this year I have set up a SaaS platform. So I've been an event planner. Guess what, guys? I run Strawberry Lemonade events, right? It might be shocking, but it's true. And I'm not going to bore everybody on the call with a big pitch, but basically I've been doing that for a long time, and I've been on the tools for a really long time. And when you get hired for one event, you have to be at that event, right? And I don't really want to scale out a massive team. So I now set up a SaaS platform, which allows me to
How smart is that?
Be in one place at one time. And I think you guys will appeal to this is actually Strawberry Lemonade is a social enterprise. So we're a corporate events agency on the surface, but behind the scenes, we train, recruit, and we mentor people coming from a background of social exclusion.
It's so smart.
That might be homelessness, mental health challenges, people with a refugee background. We train them in events.
Fully integrated.
So we've been training people and having them work on site, but I can't deliver enough business for the amount of people that we've trained. So now I'm going to train up people to be their own event planner, and my SaaS platform will enable them to get more business. But
you are
also,
so smart.
I don't know, man. But let's try it out. And yeah, so here I am now, and I just felt that I could do with a bit of strategy help, to be honest. I never worked for a company which has had big budgets or anything like that. I'm acting here like I got a big budget, but I obviously just whacked this on my Amex to get my Avios to get to in New York. But anyway, we'll work all of that out later. But this just felt like too good an opportunity to pass up, basically.
Well, we not only appreciate it, we will email you.
Cool.
And we are here to help in any way.
To go through all the strategy, all the questions. You're never going to find someone better.
And not just one call. We're in. We will, like the fact you stepped up for the dinner package is both crazy and awesome.
Yeah. Thank you.
And I'm speaking for Kass. We want to help spiral your life in the all-time best direction.
I mean, I'm spiraling right now.
And the SaaS, well, we want a virtuous cycle. And the SaaS business is where we made most of our money.
Oh, nice.
It's what we know.
Yeah, it's our
software,
expertise.
And the social enterprise component was near and dear to our heart, given that's what we did at Buddy Media.
Yeah.
So this is the first conversation of many.
Cool.
Awesome.
And I can't express enough gratitude.
No worries. I got out of bed. I stuck some makeup on my sofa just in case. So I need to go home and or go back upstairs and take this off.
You did not need any makeup. You're gorgeous and your hair is beautiful. Thank you so much.
No problem. How fun is this going to be? Thanks
it's
very
much.
Be
great.
That dinner
obviously.
It's going to be great. We'll find a date that works for you, obviously. And,
cool.
We're going to figure out, our team's going to reach out so we can start helping you in whatever you need.
Cool. And you always know you got a party planner now, guys.
Well, now I'm just thinking, how do we just generate revenue for you by doing like parties? So what you just spent with us, we will figure out how to generate revenue for you.
So thank you.
We'll make it work. We'll make it work. But
I am
also,
not
guys,
worried.
I'm going to hustle these books back.
Thank you.
I'm going to be selling all these books at my event.
That's great.
Even
That's
better.
plan.
Even awesome.
Even better. Okay, so two things. One, we have Brian. Would love to get Brian. Thank you. And then I actually don't know what to do with this next piece of information.
What was the piece of information?
We have sold the jacket.
Who? It's like,
Which I'm a little sad inside.
wait, Mike, you're not that sad. Who bought the jacket?
Who do you think?
Brian.
He's a collector.
Seth.
Seth bought the jacket.
Are you kidding me, Seth?
And
you,
I'm like,
didn't
Seth,
you also
you
buy?
were already invited to the party.
You're too nice.
Oh my God! Now I'm driven by guilt. So whatever you need,
Obviously, Seth.
we're already building
Don't
the relationship.
spill on my jacket. No, this is great. Seth just said, "Don't spill on my jacket." So take the jacket off now. Let's keep it pristine for Seth.
I gotta get it. I'm gonna get it signed by Gary in a second.
Yeah.
Where do you let us know where you want us to get it signed by Gary? Because I know you're a real collector, and there's like different.
Yeah.
You know, it's a
Like
back.
you gotta look. You gotta look. There's.
I'm thinking like
sleeves.
underneath profound, maybe.
I don't know. Where do you want it? Seth, tell us.
Anyway, we'll get Seth on.
It
We
has
know how
to go
get
with
Seth
my
on.
comic book. I love it.
Okay.
Okay.
Let's
Thank you so much.
do Brian, and I know we.
And then we got to let this
The
team
Vayner
go.
people are like, what the fuck are these people doing just sitting here?
Gary will know best. You're right. I'll make sure that he puts in the right spot.
Okay.
All right,
Gary
let's
knows
talk to
best.
Brian. Can we bring Brian in, Mike?
I can't.
Not you. There we go, Brian. How you doing?
Good. How are you all?
Good. Thank you so much for your support.
We're wondering, why would you ever do this?
Well, I am an entrepreneur at heart, and I'm building a new business. And honestly, for my team, we've been shoveling some
Yep.
shit, to say the least.
Yep.
Fighting with a bad marketing team that we got
That-
in, issues with. I got a fly or something trying to get me, but yeah, no, we've been going through it, and we're building a brand new AI platform for an industry that is stuck in Windows 95 and huge.
Can you
huge
talk about
opportunity.
it, or is it secret?
No, so we're building dealer management software. So for outdoor power equipment, power sports, ag dealers,
wow.
aviation, RV dealers, it's a $28 billion a year industry. And the majority of the platforms are still stuck on Windows 95. So we're building a all-inclusive AI powered platform for them. So
That sounds like a
Amazing.
moneymaker.
Yeah.
yeah,
It's gonna
yeah,
be-
we're
How can
we're
we help?
really- Well, I am new to this kind of. I'm not new to business building. I've built multiple businesses, but this is a brand new venture for me. I've always so currently I own and run a 3,600 acre ranch in Missouri.
Wow.
And so it's a
Do
little.
you fly fish there?
There's not a whole lot of fly fishing here. You go southern Missouri.
Missouri.
There's some good fly fishing,
There-
but
mean,
I do have a
there's
trophy bass
rivers.
pond.
Ooh,
That's
love it.
behind my house. So my brother-in-law last year, he caught a 14-pound largemouth. So
That's huge.
yeah, but yeah. So my big thing is I'm just trying to figure out how to get out of a small business mindset and get into a point. So our company's projected to be worth our business valuation is going to be $1.12 billion by 2028. I don't know how to necessarily handle that as I would say a CEO or entrepreneur. And so I'm just trying to figure out honestly, where am I supposed to go? Where am I supposed to do? I'm trying to bring on the right people, but it's also scary
People
bringing
is so
on
hard. Yeah, people is so hard.
yeah.
So two things. One, let's do a call.
Yeah.
Two, you really should meet our friend Seth, who just bought the jacket.
Okay.
Yeah.
Great entrepreneur, built a bunch of businesses. He could tell you his story, but he's also looking for like other stuff.
Okay.
And I'll just tell you right now, he's the single best salesperson you'll ever meet.
time.
Yeah, that would be awesome. In our pipeline right now, we've got about $800 million worth of sales in our pipeline.
Jesus, why do we invest in companies like that? Why do all of our companies suck with pipeline?
So
Mike, let's invest in Brian.
This is so cool.
We've been working really hard. I've never officially built a true business plan. I built business plans, but like our new business plan, it's 68 pages long. It goes through all of our forecasting. It goes through all of our projections. It goes through
amazing
everything that we could possibly think of. But by the end of 2026, we're projected to be at 525 million. And
whoa.
And but I don't know how to manage that. I'll just be honest.
We will help you.
Yeah, I'm lost in the sauce, so to speak. As
but
my
you know what?
says.
These are all good things to be lost in. You're doing well, and we will help. I'm telling you, we will help. So we're going to get a phone call, and we're going to get it on the schedule. And you got to meet this guy, Seth. He's a good friend of ours now. You got to come to our Founders Farm meetings. And office hours, and we're going to be there to help you.
Yeah, no, I would love to participate in everything, and I would have done a bigger package. It's just
you did big.
You did
Stop!
A big
Don't say that.
Yeah, you did great.
On software development, we're spending about $62,000 a week right now on software development, and
really,
it's pretty well all self-funded, and so
we got to figure out how to help with that.
That seems high.
Might be
we've got 30 developers, US based developers building our platform, because not only are we building the dealer management side, we're building ERPs for large manufacturers.
Okay.
So we've got
probably a lot of connectors also like data connectors you got to build.
So we're trying to build it right and make sure that we're set up. In our prime time for our industry is in the fall. So if we don't hit every milestone that we need to by the fall, then we're kind of a year behind. So it's one of those spend the money up front to make sure that we're prepared. But that also puts it takes a lot. You have to sell a lot of cows to afford that.
So listen, we appreciate it. This is the beginning. I could go on forever right now, but we have the Vayner team and we got to go.
No, I appreciate you guys. I'm so excited for your book.
Thank
you. I'm excited to connect with you all.
Awesome. Thank you so much. And then our team's going to reach out.
One thing to Anthony.
Yep. But
Anthony,
Brian, hold on a second.
You covered.
Brian, thank you. Claire's already working with Anthony. Brian, thank you so much. I can't wait to dig in on this one.
Yeah, thank you guys. You guys have been an inspiration.
So cool.
I've truly been an inspiration. I appreciate it.
Thank you. All right, we'll talk soon.
Thank you everyone for tuning in.
Yep. We're gonna actually.
We're overwhelmed with. Claire, how many do we sell when you add those? Let's just tell everyone.
Over 1,000 books.
But I think the 2 just came in.
Yes, we're working on one more.
We're working on another one, but over 1,000 books. So thank you, everybody.
That's crazy.
Thank you, Gary. Thank you, Dustin, Mike, everybody, Nuria, everybody who is here, that Aaron, all from this incredible Vayner team that got, if you saw the amount of cords that are on this table and camera equipment, it's just unreal.
Incredible.
Thank you all for giving back to us. This is what Gary does. He just gives. So we're out. We're going to say goodbye. The actual packages are going to be up for another 2 hours till 8 p.m. Eastern time, and then they go back to the regular packages. So I encourage everybody to buy a book at least and try to come to our party on June 2nd. And there's still some seats left with Gary. So thank you, everybody. Appreciate everyone.
Bye.
We're out.